Naruto, I became Hinata brother. Chapter 61. The gate of Konoha stood tall, and occasionally pedestrians came in and out. Two ninjas were guarding the gate, checking everyone's proof of entry and exit. At this time, the two ninjas saw a boy coming outside. He was wearing simple clothes, had short black hair, a pair of white eyes that were unique to the Hyuga family, and a sunny smile on his face. Konoha, I'm back again. The young man raised his hands and shouted excitedly, then called to the two ninjas, hello, brothers, thank you for your hard work. A ninja wanted to go forward to check the boy's entry and exit certificates. The other ninja patted him on the head, held him, and said to the boy with a smile, Master Hyuga, long time no see. Haha, I am really handsome. I didn't expect that after half a year, there are still people who recognize me. Haha. Hyuga Tenriki laughed proudly. However, Hyuga Tenriki still followed the procedure and took out a piece of paper and handed it over. This is my entry and exit certificate. The ninja checked it and said no problem, Master Hyuga can go in. Hyuga Tenriki passed through the gate and returned to the village. Looking at Hyuga Tenriki's back, a ninja curiously asked his companion. Hishu, how did you recognize him? Nonsense, he has Byakugan and he's a teenager, who else could it be other than the genius young master of the Hyuga family? Oh, that's right, you are smart. I have always been smarter than you, but the young master of the Hyuga family is still as friendly and polite as before, without any arrogance of a young master from a big family. Yes, the two young masters of the Uchiha family are both cold and icy. SHH, let's not talk about Uchiha. Let's talk about this Hyuga boy. I really admire him for going out to gain experience at such a young age. You know, the Cloud Ninja is very eager for the Byakugan. Haha, the Cloud Ninja is in a miserable state now. I heard that the village was destroyed and even the treasury was directly dug out by the strong. It's so funny. We were really ignorant before. It turns out that there are such terrifying ninjas in this world. I wonder if our Hokage-sama will be that strong. I think so. Hokage has been a famous ninja since World War II. Haha, that's right, Hokage-sama is the strongest. Hyuga Tenriki walked on the familiar street. He hadn't been back for nearly 8 months. Now he couldn't help but feel the familiarity of this place. Even the air was so familiar. He quickened his pace and walked towards home. Halfway through the walk, he suddenly heard a voice. Tenriki. Hyuga Tenriki looked to the right and saw Naruto with a surprised look on his face. Naruto had grown taller, but he was probably malnourished and ate expired food, so he was still 20 centimeters shorter than Hyuga Tenriki. Tenriki, it's really you. Hinata said you were coming back a few days ago, I was looking forward to it. Naruto ran over and shouted excitedly beside Tenriki. Are you guys done with school? Yes, school just ended, I went back to have lunch. Naruto chuckled. Hyuga Tenriki took out a handful of money and stuffed it into Naruto's hand. Use this money first, don't eat those nutritious instant noodles and expired milk. Naruto was moved. It seems that you care about me, thank you Tenriki, you are my best friend, a lifelong friend. Hyuga Tenriki, bullshit, I don't care about you, I just think you are too short, shorty. Shorty? You are the shorty. Naruto was furious, but when he compared the heights of the two, he burst into tears. It turned out to be a shorty. It was such a shock. But at this time, Hyuga Tenriki had already run away and rushed home along the way home from school. Sure enough, he soon found Hinata who was returning home. Hinata! Hyuga Tenriki shouted in surprise. Hinata turned around and when she saw the person coming, she was overjoyed. Brother! Wow, you've grown taller. Hyuga Tianli touched her head habitually. My brother has grown taller too. Hinata smiled like a kitten. The two went home together. On the way, Hinata slowly told Tianli some interesting things in the past 6 months, laughing all the way. When they got home, the Hyuga family was in an uproar, and suddenly became joyous, just like a festival. The 3-year-old Hyuga Hanabi was hanging on Tenriki and acting like a spoiled child, refusing to get off. Even Hyuga Hayashi put on a stern fatherly face, it was useless. And the mother Hyuga Nami cried and laughed at the same time, wishing that Hyuga Tenriki would never leave. After the big feast, Hyuga Hayashi called Hyuga Tenriki to his room and had a secret talk. Boy, did you do those things? Hyuga Hayashi asked seriously. He felt something was wrong when Hyga Tenriki came back because his hair was cut and dyed black. He didn't think his son could be as strong as the one who destroyed the Kumagakure and defeated the fourth Raikage, but now he couldn't help but doubt it after seeing his son's deliberate changes. Yes. Hyga Tianli said. Is it really you? Real. 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 Really? Don't lie to me. It's true, absolutely true. Hyga Hayashi confirmed it again and again, and finally accepted this amazing fact. Next, he had many questions to ask Hyga Tenriki. If he didn't ask these questions, he would definitely be driven crazy. I heard that you defeated the fourth Raikage and the Eight Tails Jinchuriki with just 2 moves, and destroyed the Cloud Village. Is that true? It is true. How come you are so awesome? There are many coincidences. There are some things that I can't tell you yet. It involves a huge conspiracy in the entire ninja world. If I tell you, it may not be good for you. Hyga Tenriki said. Hyga. Hayashi was silent for a few seconds, then he went berserk. How dare you disrespect your father, you little brat. He was almost about to hit him with his cane. If I tell you, it may not be good for you. This kind of words are usually used before the warning to the younger generation, but now the situation has turned around. The son said that his father was so ashamed. Chapter 62. Hayashi looked at Tianli and said, then just tell me what you can, at least give me some information. Hyga Tianli thought for a while and said, Father, you should have heard from the elders that the Byakugan of our Hyga family and the Sharingan of Uchiha are actually inherited from the same ancestor's bloodline. Right. Then why is the Byakugan so much worse than the Sharingan? What's the difference? The Byakugan is also very powerful, okay. Hyga. Hayashi said dissatisfiedly. The Byakugan is the pride of him as the clan leader. Hyga Tenriki rolled his eyes and ignored Hayashi's arrogance. If the Byakugan and the Sharingan fight, who will win? Okay, Sharingan. Although it is rare for the Uchiha clan to use Sharingan, from the family information, the power of Sharingan is indeed much better than many. Last time I tried the Uchiha clan Itachi's Sharingan illusion, but I was completely defenseless and was directly hit, and I couldn't resist. Hyga Tenriki said, you can see the difference between the Byakugan and the Sharingan. Hyga Hayashi nodded in agreement. Why are the eyes of the same ancestors so different? So, I believed from the beginning that above the Byakugan, there would be a stronger eye evolution direction. Hyga. Tenryu said in a sonorous voice. Hyga Hayashi looked at Hyga Tenryu suddenly, with a look of surprise. You mean? The eyes mentioned in the intelligence are the eyes evolved from the Byakugan. Hyga Tenryu nodded yes, this pair of eyes has a name, the Samsara eyes. Samsara eyes. Hyga Hayashi's eyes were fanatical. Show me this pair of eyes right now. Hyga Tenryu shook his head. I didn't evolve successfully, and I still have a long way to go. That time, I had something to assist me, so there's no way. Hey? Really? Hyga Hayashi was very disappointed, and then gave Tianli a slap on the face. Pretend, let you pretend, you really keep me in suspense. Hyga Tianli was stunned. So this? The Samsara eye, right? Can the Samsara eye be better than the Sharingan? Legend has it that Uchiha Madara's Sharingan was super abnormal. Humph, Sharingan. Hyga. Tenryu said with a bit of disdain, you underestimate the Samsara eye. The highest level of Sharingan is the Eternal Manjiki, but it is still not as good as the Samsara eye. Only the Sharingan's evolution direction, the Samsara eye, can compare to the Samsara eye. Samsara eye. I seem to have heard of it somewhere before. Hyga. Hayashi is puzzled. The Rinnegan is the eye of the Six-Path Sage, the ancestor of the ninja world. Hyga Tenriki answered. Hyga Hayashi found that he had become a student at this time, asking his son for answers. He felt a little miserable and felt that his life was almost lived in vain. Kakuzu laughed, finally someone is as miserable as me, ha 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 ha. Hyga Tenriki said, now I am trying to figure out how to evolve the Rinnegan. When I am familiar with it, I will teach it to father. Then he turned the topic to the mobile group. Now the mobile group is still built on the basis of Tang. Because we have a base, and we have already controlled the daimyo of Tang country and Moon country, no country dares to provoke us now. In less than half a year, the mobile group will establish a communication network in the Fire country. By then, our Hyga family can become the agent of the Fire country. This secret talk lasted for 4 hours, and it was time for dinner. Hyuga Hayashi looked at his son with jealousy. This experience was really wonderful, but it was a pity that as the patriarch of the clan, he was restricted by Konoha village and it was difficult to go out. He has not left Konoha for a long time. Sometimes it is very distressing to have great power but no freedom. However, he was more alert at this time, because he could feel that the atmosphere in the village was becoming more and more tense. From some secretive actions of the Konoha high-level officials and the increasingly intense emotions of the Uchiha clan, he felt a kind of oppression that a storm was about to come. So recently, he used various reasons to restrain the Hyuga family and prevented them from running around. My son's return time is not appropriate. Uchiha Clan 0. Suzuki returned home from school in the afternoon and looked around. Where's my brother? Uchiha Mikoto, your brother hasn't come back yet. Suzuki puffed his lips angrily. Humph, brother is so annoying, he promised to teach me ninjutsu. Not long after, Uchiha Itachi came back. Suzuki ran over happily. Brother, teach me ninjutsu. But Itachi flicked his forehead. Brother is tired, need to rest. Then he walked past Suzuki and left. Itachi now felt that every day was very tormenting. He had to choose between his clan and the village. Although he had made a choice, every time he saw Suzuki, his heart couldn't help but bleed. He was tired and guilty. Itachi didn't dare to talk to Suzuki now, let alone take Suzuki to play the meatball game with the cat lady. As he walked, suddenly 3 Uchiha clan members blocked Itachi's way. You didn't attend the clan meeting last night. What's wrong with you? Listen, Itachi, if you dare to betray the Uchiha clan, I will never let you off easily. Itachi's eyes flashed coldly. Bang bang bang. The 3 Uchiha clan members were kicked and seriously injured, and flew out. Itachi said coldly, you keep saying that we are one clan, but you are so arrogant that you don't know how magnanimous I am, so you were knocked to the ground by me. Uchiha Fuki ran out and was surprised to see the scene. Itachi, what the hell is going on? Whoosh, before he finished speaking, a kunao flew over, brushed Uchiha Fukuoka's hair, and hit the wall. Itachi, my ability has already given up hope for this boring clan. Suzuki was watching from the side, full of confusion and puzzlement. Itachi suddenly knelt down and kowtowed to Uchiha Fukuoka. See clearly with your own eyes, Suzuki. Chapter 63. Witnessing the conflict between his brother and his clan members, Suzuki suddenly became depressed. He had not yet been exposed to the dark side and did not understand why his brother was like this, why the family quarreled and even fought. The next morning, when Suzuki returned to school, all his classmates could see the coldness on his face. However, Naruto did not care and rushed over and hugged Sasuke's neck. Suzuki, the power of heaven is back, did you know? Ah, Suzuki woke up from his gloom. You're back? When did you come back? Yesterday at noon, I saw him when I got home from school. He had grown taller and called me short and ugly. How abominable! Naruto said unhappily. Suzuki looked at Naruto and nodded, you are indeed short and ugly. Ah! Suzuki, what did you say? Naruto went crazy and rushed towards Suzuki, but unfortunately, as the last one in the class, he was directly stepped on by Suzuki. The classmates in the class didn't think it was strange anymore, because Suzuki and Naruto seemed to be mortal enemies. Fighting was a common thing, and Suzuki always won. Sakura got angry again at this time. Naruto, why are you harassing Suzuki again? Then she turned into another person and said to Suzuki gently, Suzuki, you are not hurt anywhere, are you? Naruto yelled in dissatisfaction, come on, I'm the one who is stepped on. He is not hurt at all. Shut up. Sakura kicked Naruto directly on top. Naruto burst into tears. Shikamaru sighed, oh, trouble, women are really scary. Just then, Hinata walked into the classroom and a group of girls immediately surrounded her. Hinata, is your brother back? Hinata, can you pass on this love letter I wrote to your brother to him? Please. Ah, Yamuzi, you actually wrote love letters secretly without telling us. This is unforgivable. What if I wrote it? No, you wrote it too, right? I saw it last night. You two actually wrote love letters. I want to write one too. Then there was a chaotic quarrel. Hinata hurriedly ran away, called Naruto, Suzuki and the other 6 strong men tonight. My brother said he would treat you to a barbecue. Koji was immediately surprised and shouted, "Barbecue, barbecue, I like it." Sakura waved her fist and cheered, "Yeah, you are really good friends and didn't forget us." Naruto was overjoyed, "Haha, that's great, it seems that Tianli has made money outside, we must have a good meal today." Sasuke was also moved, but he was reserved and just spoke. "The other students who were not invited were envious and jealous. They are having a barbecue but not inviting me. Does he look down on my strength? It seems that we have to add it in the future." In the evening, monitoring the Uchiha Sentry Tower, Uchiha Itachi once again stood in this place that made him worried. Ever since the Nine Tails incident, the Uchiha clan has collectively moved to this remote place in Konoha. Around the Uchiha clan's residence, there are towering buildings. These are sentry towers used by Konoha's Anbu to secretly monitor the Uchiha clan. Every time Itachi saw the arrogance of the Uchiha clan and their brutal confrontation with the villagers of Konoha, he couldn't help but feel gloomy every time he saw these. Looking at the watch, Itachi turned the telescope to the way his younger brother Sasuke was going home from school. This has become his habitual action. However, after waiting for a long time, Sasuke's figure did not appear. This was impossible before. Where did he go? Itachi couldn't help but feel a little nervous, fearing that something might happen to Sasuke, and called his ninjas over. "You watch first, I'll go out for a while." "Yes, Captain." Itachi left quickly and soon returned to the school along the road, but Sasuke was not there, but he soon heard the discussions of other students. "I heard that Hyuga Tenriki is back." "Coming back? Is this fake?" "How is it fake?" "I heard that he invited several students from the second grade class to have a barbecue together." Itachi didn't listen to the rest of the words, knowing that Sasuke must have gone with him, and his worries were finally put to rest. Soon he found a barbecue restaurant near the school, and he heard Sasuke's laughter, and saw Hyuga Tenriki at the same time. Hiding aside, watching Sasuke and other classmates eating barbecue and talking and laughing, Itachi thought to himself, "Sasuke, you have friends too, I don't have to worry about you anymore." After Itachi left, Hyuga Tenriki glanced at the place where Itachi had just been. It seems that the night of genocide is about to begin. Hyuga Tenriki glanced at Sasuke, who was happily chatting with other classmates, and thought it was a pity. Uchiha Itachi was too kind. Not only did he not have a good end, but he could only be known by people for the crime of killing a clan. He spent his life to maintain Konoha 650, and gave everything for his beloved brother Sasuke before his death. After being resurrected by the impure world reincarnation, he was running around for Konoha again. Is he a devil? Or a hero? If Itachi is a hero, Hyuga Tenriki doesn't want to be a hero at all. Protecting family and friends is the hero in Hyuga Tenriki's heart. However, no matter how much he complained, it did not prevent Hyuga Tenriki from admiring people like Uchiha Itachi. As for Sasuke, Hyuga Tenriki still liked his current personality and naturally did not want him to become the lonely avenger in the future. At this time, Naruto's words interrupted Hyuga Tenriki's thoughts. "Tianli, tell us, what is your current strength?" All the 9 Xiaoqiang stopped eating and looked at Hyuga Tianli. "As for me, I'm probably at the top of the Chuunin level." Hyuga Tenriki looked sincere. "Did you meet other ninjas outside?" Naruto asked in a series of questions. The others listened attentively. "Ninja? The first ones I encountered were Kumo ninja, 2 Chunins. Come on, tell me, did you fight? Is the opponent strong?" Chapter 64. Ninja? The first ones I encountered were Kumo ninja, 2 Chunins. Tell me, did you fight? Is the opponent strong? After hearing that Hyuga Tenriki had indeed met other ninjas outside, all the little strong men put down their food and looked at Hyuga Tenriki expectantly to talk about the specific encounter. Even Akimichi Koji put down the big piece of delicious barbecue in his chopsticks. For these students, studying is always a bit boring, and then they look forward to entering the ninja world as soon as possible and starting a wonderful ninja career. The Kumo ninjas have always wanted to get the Byakugan of our Hyuga family. They would not give up this opportunity when I leave the village, so they sent 2 Chunins over. Then what? Then what? Naruto couldn't wait any longer and asked anxiously. Then Sakura gave her a slap on the shoulder. "Stop making noise." Hyuga Tenriki was speechless and said calmly, "Everyone knows the Kumagami village, a place built in the mountains and cloudy. Their main ninjutsu is all about lightning. They have a ninjutsu called activating ninjutsu, which ordinary ninjas may not be able to master. Blah 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 blah. Hyuga Tenriki began to introduce the Kumigakure to a group of newbies. The newbies were so excited that they wanted to go to the Kumigakure village right away, or meet a ninja to try their luck. Their fourth Raikage, the current Raikage, is said to be very active and has a terrifying speed. During the Third Ninja World War, he fought with our fourth Hokage. At this point, Hyuga Tenriki looked at Naruto meaningfully. Naruto was puzzled. Why are you looking at me? What happened to the fourth Hokage? Hyuga Tenriki thought about it and decided not to tell Naruto the truth. When Hyuga Tenriki watched Naruto, he saw Naruto's hardships and his final encounter with the fourth Hokage and Uzumaki Kushina. The touching narration and tears are the eternal memories of every Naruto fan. The fourth Hokage, he made a resounding name in the Ninja World War, Golden Flash, which refers to his special move, Flying Thunder God, a fast-moving ninjutsu that can travel through space. When the enemy sees the flash, the person will die. The speed is incredibly fast. A group of newbies didn't listen as if they were listening to a legend, their mouths wide open, surprised. Because the ninja school deliberately didn't talk about these things, and the elders never mentioned the fourth Hokage, so they didn't know that the fourth Hokage would be so powerful. Amazing! The fourth generation is so strong. I want to be a ninja as powerful as the fourth Hokage in the future. The young men were so excited that they shouted. I must surpass him! He roared even more arrogantly. We just talked about the fourth Raikage. He didn't have any space-time ninjutsu, but he was only slightly weaker than the fourth Hokage in speed. Don't you think this is abnormal? Wow! Really? Too scary. The newbies opened their mouths wide again. Today, their three views were refreshed again and again. Sasuke, I heard from the villagers that the Cloud Village was destroyed by a strong man. Does that mean that the strong man is stronger than the fourth Raikage? Hyuga Tenriki paused and nodded slowly. I heard from my father. Hayashi cursed, damn, you use me as a shield, this strong man is very strong, and he destroyed the Cloud Village with just one move, and the second move was even more terrifying, directly crippling the fourth Raikage, the Eight Tails Jinchuriki, and the Eight Tails. Eight-tailed Jinchuriki? What is that? Naruto asked, raising his hand. The group of newbies were confused again, feeling that Hyuga Tenriki knew a lot of things. The little strong men burst into tears. Why do I feel like such an idiot? I don't know anything. Hyuga Tenriki paused, looking at Naruto with a strange look, but after thinking about it, he finally said, I don't understand either. Anyway, I heard it from my father, and I asked him, but he refused to say. At this time Shikamaru said, let's go back to the original topic. Tenriki, you met the Cloud Ninja, and then what? Hyuga Tenriki, I also have a clan uncle with the strength of a Jonin who secretly protects me. He helped me kill a ninja, and then I defeated another Cloud Ninja one-on-one. Although these ninjas are fast, the ability of the Byakugan is just right to restrain them. Amazing! Tenriki is really amazing, he actually defeated the Cloud Ninja Chunin. He gained the admiration of a group of newbies. Then Hyuga Tenriki took the opportunity to talk about the Mist Ninja. In the future, Naruto, Sasuke, and others would encounter the Mist Ninja rebel Zabuza on their first mission. The newbies looked at him with even more admiration. Then, Hyuga Tenriki introduced the unique scenery from all over the world, the desert of the Wind Country, the waterfalls of Takigakure, the mountains of the Lightning Country, the snow scenery in the north, the sea of the Water Country. The group of newbies were dazzled by what they heard, and they wanted to leave the village immediately to appreciate the colorful and beautiful scenery. Akimichi Koji quickly left the show. Hyuga Tenriki then started to babble about introducing local delicacies, and Akimichi Koji screamed. I want to work hard. I want to graduate soon. The 8 little strong men made the strongest voice in history. The outside world, Wang Li's, described by Hyuga Tianli to them has already made them dazzled. Tenriki, can you train us? I want to become stronger. Sasuke said to Hyuga Tenriki. Okay, Hyuga. Tenriki agreed directly. I want one too. Naruto shouted impatiently. I want profit too. I also want. I want it. For a moment, everyone looked at Tianli expectantly. Hyuga Tianli, okay, tomorrow night, let's find a place to practice together. I will pass on some experience to you. Yet. Everyone cheered. 500 meters away, in the Hokage's office, the third generation watched all this through the crystal ball and sighed in his heart, this Hyuga Tenriki actually has such leadership skills, why don't we have such a leader in the Sarutobi family? Chapter 65. The edge of Konoha village. There is a big lake here, and the surrounding area is a dense forest, and there is also an open space along the lake. Usually no one comes here, but today a group of people came. Sasuke, Naruto, Haruno Sakura, Shikamaru, Koji, Ino, Abarame Shino, Inyazuka Kaiba, Hyuga Hinata. As soon as they got out of school, they couldn't wait to rush here. Shikamaru, hey, Tenryu hasn't arrived yet. Ino, wow, this place is so beautiful, there are so many wildflowers, I like it here. Inyazuka Kaiba, we will increase our training here in the future. Haruno. Sakura, what do you think Tenryu will teach us? Naruto, it must be a very powerful ninjutsu. Sasuke, I really want to fight him and see how big the gap between the two sides is. Naruto nodded vigorously, I want to, too, after all, I am the strongest among all people. Others. Shameless. At this moment, there was a rustling sound in the woods, and then 650 saw Hyuga Tenryu coming over with a bunch of lunch boxes. Putting the lunch boxes on the ground, Hyuga Tenriki smiled cunningly and said, these are your dinners, but for the 9 of you, I only ordered 7 boxes, which means that 2 of you will have nothing to eat later. What about you? Shikamaru asked. I'm full, said Hyuga Tenriki. Everyone. How shameless. Koji complained, these are only enough for me. Everyone. Foodie. Hyuga Tenriki clapped his hands, okay, these lunch boxes are just to motivate you. Only with competition can there be pressure and progress. Sasuke nodded, I agree, but I want to fight with you first. Hyuga. Tenriki was mentally prepared and asked others, who else wants to fight with me? Naruto raised his hand, me. Koji, I'd better save some energy for the competition later, grab the food. Ino roared angrily, Koji, can you stop eating? In the end, except for Shikamaru who was afraid of trouble, Asai, and Koji, everyone else wanted to fight with Hyuga Tenriki. Hyuga Tenriki, okay, Sasuke goes first. Okay, here I come. Sasuke rushed forward without saying anything. However, all of Sasuke's attacks missed. Hyuga Tenriki swayed his body slightly to avoid the attack. I'll help you. Naruto shouted and rushed over. The two of them attacked Tianli, but unfortunately, most of the attacks were dodged by Tianli, and a few of them were pulled by Tianli and hit the other party. Sasuke, you hit me. Idiot, you're the one who came here to cause trouble. You are the one who is causing the trouble. Every time I attack, you interfere. The two started to quarrel. Then, Haruno Sakura, Ino, Abarame Shino, Inyazuka Kaiba and others joined the battle. 6 vs 1. However, the strength of the 6 of them was too weak, and they did not know how to cooperate well, so they were quickly knocked to the ground by Tianli. Damn it! Sasuke felt that the gap between him and Hyuga Tenri was getting bigger and bigger, and he felt very unwilling, thinking that his progress in the past 6 months was too poor. Naruto, on the other hand, always had a good attitude and exclaimed, Tianri is really powerful. After everyone was knocked down, their attitudes became serious. Today, the first training I arranged for you is. Hyuga Tenriki came directly in front of a big tree, and then, in front of 9 Zyobai's surprised eyes, he walked sideways up the tree in defiance of gravity. His feet seemed to have a kind of suction that kept his body firmly fixed on the tree trunk until he walked to a high branch and stood upside down in the air. His body did not shake at all during the whole process. Wow, that's amazing. It can still be like this. It's much more exciting than the ninja school. Everyone was surprised and excited. Hinata, on the other hand, had trained with Hyuga Tenriki when she was a child, so she looked calm. Let me try. Naruto was so excited that he couldn't wait to try it. The result was terrible. He fell straight down after climbing up 2 steps. Naruto held his head and howled in pain, rolling on the ground. Idiot! Idiot! Everyone looked down on him. Climbing a tree is not something you can do with brute force. I haven't finished talking yet, why are you in such a hurry? Hyuga Tenriki said with a smile. This kind of training is called tree climbing. Don't underestimate this kind of training. Hyuga Tenriki started talking about a lot of principles and techniques. Finally, he concluded as long as you master the method of controlling chakra like climbing a tree, it will be easier to master ninjutsu in the future. After listening to him, everyone nodded vigorously and thought to themselves, sure enough, the ninja school is too bad. The ninja school doesn't teach these things at all. Soon after, everyone began to practice with great interest. Ah! It hurts. It hurts. It's so difficult. Everyone, please pay attention, I'm about to rush. Ah! It hurts. Idiot! Waves of screams echoed in the woods. However, perhaps because of the competition and not wanting to fall behind and be looked down upon, or perhaps because of the expectation of a wonderful ninja life in the future, everyone practiced very seriously and did not want to fall behind others. At 8 o'clock in the evening, everyone competed once. Ino and Naruto performed the worst and could only watch the other 6 people eat dinner in misery. I don't want to be the last one. Naruto swore. The training lasted until after 10 p.m., but because they brought lights, it did not affect the training. When everyone left, they were still in high spirits. Hehe, tomorrow I will definitely be able to walk up 8 meters. I can reach 9 meters. Sasuke is the most powerful one, he can actually be 11 meters high. A group of people yelled. Naruto and Ino, who were at the bottom of the list, said angrily, I will go back to practice tonight, and I will definitely beat you tomorrow. Everyone, hey, let's go back to practice too, so that you will always be at the bottom of the list. Chapter 66. Sasuke returned home after training outside, took a shower and went to bed directly, and did not feel that the atmosphere at home was a bit strange. This is the kind of training I want. Although it is very tiring, I can clearly see my progress. I didn't know it before, but now I feel that ninja school is really boring. I heard that during the war, the ninja school only had 2 years of courses, but now it's 6 years, what a waste of time. Hinata's strength today, so easy in the face of their attacks, gave Sasuke a great stimulation. So he wanted to be stronger. Protect his parents, protect his brother. With this thought, Sasuke fell asleep. Uchiha Itachi sat on the roof of Sasuke's house, looked at the moon in the sky, sighed, and then disappeared. In the following 20 days, Hyuga Tenriki trained the 9 little warriors in climbing trees, treading water, and then fighting on the water. During the continuous training, the 9 little warriors became more and more proficient in controlling chakras, and their strength also increased. Especially Sasuke, he felt that his strength had improved significantly, and he had greater expectations for the future. One day at noon, Tianli was suddenly stopped by Hyuga Hayashi. Don't come back early tonight. What's wrong? Hyuga Tenriki was at a loss. But Hyuga Hayashi didn't answer and left directly. Don't come back early? Is something going to happen? Hyuga Tenriki was startled, then relieved. It must be the night of the Uchiha clan extermination. Hyuga Hayashi asked him not to come back. It should not be because he was worried about him, but to let him hold Sasuke back, right? This may be the arrangement of the third Hokage or Danzo. Is it coming anyway? Hyuga Tenriki was a little helpless. He really didn't want Sasuke to become what he would be like in the future. After a long time of getting along, he felt that Sasuke was indeed a good person. Although he was a little cold and arrogant at ordinary times, he was sincere to others. Well, he also had some middle school attributes. However, this was inevitable. Whether it was the third Hokage, Danzo, or Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, and Zetsu, they all wanted to see this result, and had planned for this result for many years. Hyuga Tenriki thought about it, but could only smile bitterly. It can't be stopped, because everyone hopes that it will have a result. That night, Hyuga Tenriki trained the 12 little warriors as usual. However, halfway through, Hinata came over and whispered that she saw a lot of ninjas around with her Byakugan, but Hyuga Tenriki knew that those ninjas were sent by the third generation to protect them from any accidents, so he asked Hinata not to make a fuss. At around 7 p.m. in the evening, the night of the Uchiha clan extermination began. Hyuga Tenriki stood on the top of a tree by the lake, looking at the Uchiha clan. With his evolved Byakugan, he could see a lot of blood, resentment, and chakra fluctuations on that side. He also saw a man wearing a black robe and a mask with strange patterns easily breaking into one room after another and killing all the Uchiha clan members. In the end, even the Uchiha girl who had always liked Itachi died. Before she died, she shouted, "Itachi, save me. Hyuga Tenriki couldn't help but sigh. Although this girl only appeared a few times in Naruto, her love for Itachi touched Hyuga Tenriki deeply. A poor woman, at the wrong time, in the wrong family, and fell in love with the wrong person. When Hyuga Tenriki looked at Uchiha Itachi, Itachi had already killed some of the clan members, and then was led back to the room by Uchiha Fumioka. There are no traps inside, come in. When Itachi pushed the door open carefully, he found Uchiha Fukyu and Uchiha Mikoto, kneeling on the mat with their backs to him without any defense. Fukyu, I don't want to kill my own son. You are on their side. Itachi was stunned. Dad, Mom, I. Mikoto, we understand, Itachi. Fukyu, Itachi, please promise me one last time, I'll leave Sasuke to you. Itachi shed tears. I understand. Fukyu, don't be afraid, this is the path you decided. Compared to you, our pain is just a moment. Although I think differently, I am still proud of you. You are a kind child. Finally, Itachi choked up, tears streaming down his face. Swing the knife. Destroy the clan. In the distance, Hyuga Tenriki withdrew his gaze and sighed. A hero? Unfortunately, not everyone can be selfless, at least Hyuga Tenriki can't do it, and the final heroic death of Uchiha Fukyu and Uchiha Mikoto shocked Hyuga Tenriki even more. Great fatherly and motherly love. Perhaps, Hyuga Tenriki will never be a hero like Itachi, because he is selfish, and family is more important than anything else. 0TODAY. S training ended as scheduled. Hyuga Tenriki took Hinata and Niji home directly. That night, Hyuga Tenriki stayed awake all night, sitting on the roof, looking at the Uchiha base from afar. After seeing everyone dead, Sasuke felt grief and fear, puzzled. Why? Why, brother? To test my own abilities. Testing ability? Just for this? Just for this, everyone. This is important. What? Don't be kidding. You are not worth killing me right now. I have been playing the role of your ideal brother just to test your ability. You have the potential to be my opponent. That is why I let you live, for me. You have the same. The qualification to open the Manjiki Sharingan. But that requires special conditions. Killing your closest friend. Like me. Sasuke was cast by Itachi on Tsukuyomi, and experienced the process of his parents being killed by Itachi himself again, and finally collapsed and lay there like a corpse. Chapter 67. Tianli, everything has been arranged for the base you requested for research. The next morning, Hyuga Hayashi gave Tenryu good news, which finally broke through the shadow of the Uchiha clan's extermination last night. When Hyuga Tenryu returned to the village, he also transported Tonari Otoki back through the Hyuga family's channels, and then immediately put him in the caged bird seal, and then felt that it was not enough, and continued to cut off his 2 hands. Hyuga Tenryu will not have any mercy on this madman who wants to destroy the earth and snatch and control Hinata's marriage. Well, Hyuga Tenryu will never admit that the second reason is the main reason. Hyuga Hayashi is still quite curious about Tonari Otoki, and is curious about where Hyuga Tenryu got him back. After Hyuga Tenryu finished breakfast, he was led by Hyuga Hayashi through a maze that went down and came to the underground of the Hyuga family's residence. The research room is not big, probably only a dozen rooms, and the instruments inside are basically complete. Rizu reminded, although human body research is not a forbidden technique, using villagers for research will be regarded as researching forbidden techniques and is forbidden by the village, so no one else can be in this research institute. Usually you will be the only one doing research, and I will come over when I have time. Tianli nodded. If Orochimaru can do the research alone, so can I. Tonari Otoji is too important, so he thinks it's safer to do the research himself, for fear that he doesn't have the scientific genius of Orochimaru. After checking the research institute, Hyuga Tianli couldn't wait to try his hand. Forget it, I'll go see Sasuke first, and then come back to study. Not long after, Hyuga Tenriki arrived at Konoha Hospital, but when he stepped into the hospital, Hyuga Tenriki clearly felt the surveillance around him. Even if he entered Uchiha Sasuke's ward and closed the door, he still felt like he was being monitored. Needless to say, it's 3 generations again. Hyuga Tenriki knew that the 3rd generation had a crystal ball. He could use a ninjutsu, telescope technique to find people anytime and anywhere with the crystal ball, but the condition was to know the type of the other person's chakra. As long as this was done, the crystal ball could find the person no matter how far away they were. Obviously, the third generation was afraid that Hyuga Tenriki would talk nonsense and disrupt the arrangements of the Konoha high-level officials. Sasuke was lying on the bed with dead eyes. Everything that happened last night turned his originally happy and beautiful life upside down. He was completely devastated. Sasuke. Tianli, after seeing Hyuga Tenriki, Sasuke finally regained some energy and spirit. Tenriki, can you help me become stronger? For some reason, Sasuke, who lost everything overnight, suddenly felt that the entire Konoha had only Hyuga Tenriki in front of him to rely on. In the past, Hyuga Tenriki was his goal, and at the same time, he was also half of Hyuga Tenriki's actions, graduating early, freely going to the ninja world. These were all what Sasuke wanted to do. Now that he has lost everything, he naturally regards Hyuga Tenriki as someone he can rely on. Of course you can. Hinata agreed without even thinking about it, even if the third generation was watching. Okay, I will come to see you every day from now on. I want to become at this moment. Sasuke finally regained some vitality and was no longer lifeless. Tianli sighed. It seems that there is no way to change his state of hatred all at once, let's take it slowly in the future. In the days that followed, Hyuga Tenriki began a life of going back and forth between the 3 points. In the research institute, he studied cells and genes. In the training ground, he guided the other ninjas. Later, Niji and the other 3 ninjas joined, and the battle began to escalate. As for Sasuke, in addition to daily training, Hyuga Tenriki gave him special training and provided him with some ninjutsu collected from Kakuzu. It was really exciting to take this protagonist as a younger brother and let him follow him wholeheartedly. As for Hyuga Tenriki's own training, he constantly refined chakra and repeatedly released ninja body chakra, giant ninja body, empty shield ninja body, star breaker ninja body activation. At this time, it has reached the stage of great success. Air shield can be controlled at will, changing its shape, and even transformed into a piece of clothing to block the body, which is stronger than the lightning armor. Star breaking can be freely retracted and released, and can attack in a range or in a concentrated manner. The ability of activation is also gradually approaching the power of the 4th Raikage activation. In the blink of an eye, 1 year later. In the underground secret research institute of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Tenriki officially extracted the first Daitongmyu bloodline gene. Under the care of Hyuga Hayashi, Hyuga Tenriki injected a very small amount. He fainted on the spot, and the system in his brain began to work. Hyuga Hayashi was a little panicked, but did not show it outside. 650 just claimed that Hyuga Tenriki was going to retreat. On this day, Hyuga Tenriki missed training for the first time. The little strong men were surprised, confused, and curious. They asked Hyuga Hinata one after another, but Hinata didn't know either. 5 days later, Hyuga Tenriki woke up. System: a higher level homologous bloodline has been detected, with a blood conversion rate of 1%, named Daitongmyu bloodline. Side effects: none for the time being. No way? After being unconscious for 5 days, the conversion rate is only 1%. Hyuga Tenriki almost burst into tears. However, the only good thing is that there are no side effects. Hyuga Tenriki's awakening finally made Hyuga Hayashi breathe a sigh of relief. Your hair is turning white again, Rizu. Pointed at Tianli's hair. Tianli found a mirror and saw that his hair had turned white again. Go back to dyeing your hair. Some time ago, Kakuzu delivered a newly developed hair dye specially developed for Hyuga Tenriki. He was so rich that he could do whatever he wanted. The first success led to the second and third. Hyuga Tenriki began to appear less frequently at the training ground, and every time he focused on Sasuke. He spent most of his time at the research base, continuing to extract genes and injecting. Chapter 68. The Uchiha clan extermination has long been forgotten by Konoha, and only a few people still remember it. Sasuke walked on the street, and not many people noticed him. Mobile Group has developed rapidly and has expanded to the Kingdom of Moon, the Kingdom of Hot Springs, and the Kingdom of Thunder. The Kingdom of Thunder has changed its daimyo, who was jointly recommended by the consortium of the Kingdom of Thunder. This daimyo has nothing to do with the previous daimyo, and the entire political system has nothing to do with the original political system of the Kingdom of Thunder. After the daimyo of the Kingdom of Thunder came to power, he immediately bowed to the Mobile Group and warmly welcomed the entry of the Mobile Group's signal distribution center. With the support of various political forces in the Kingdom of Thunder, mobile communications quickly built hundreds of signal towers in the Kingdom of Thunder, allowing the entire Kingdom of Thunder to use mobile phones. Not to mention the income from selling mobile phones, the monthly communication fees alone are as high as tens of millions, which can be said to be making money. In the letter to Hyuga Tenriki, Kakuzu was full of passion as a president. In March, the mobile group officially negotiated with the Fire Country Daimyo and soon won the entire Fire Country cooperation project, and Konoha was obviously also within the scope of cooperation. In April, the Hyuga family was designated as the first-level agent of the mobile group in Konoha village and officially started the Konoha cooperation. Soon, a huge signal tower was built at the highest place next to Konoha. The third Hokage and Danzo stood on the rooftop, looking worriedly at the signal tower in the distance. Danzo, if each of us uses mobile phones to exchange information, do you think there is a danger that the mobile group will spy on our Konoha intelligence? The third generation said in a depressed mood. Although I don't quite understand the principle of mobile phones, we in Konoha cannot take it lightly. Danzo said. I suggest that we in Konoha need to develop the relevant technology ourselves, at least for us ninjas, we should use our own mobile phones. I agree. Danzo, in addition, I think we should focus on the Hyuga clan. The Uchiha clan has disappeared. Now the Hyuga clan is the most powerful clan in Konoha. There are many ninjas, and the Byakugan plays a big role in the ninja team and has a high reputation. Now, they control the first-level agent of the mobile group, so we have to be on guard. The third generation pondered for a moment. Konoha doesn't need big clans now, but only big villages. The Hyuga clan is indeed a little too big to be eliminated. Moreover, the genius shown by Hyuga Tenryu has made the third generation pay more and more attention to him. Finally, the third generation hesitated and shook his head to deny the proposal. Forget it. The Hyuga clan has always been peaceful. From the establishment of Konoha to now, there has never been any trouble. We will discuss this matter later. The third generation had another idea. Since Hyuga is such a genius, why not draw him to his own camp? His own apprentices Jiraiya and Tsunade are both good teachers, and they can be his apprentices. Thinking of this, the third generation couldn't help but feel a little excited. A trace of disappointment flashed in Danzo's eyes. He also wanted to instigate the third generation to have a conflict with the Hyuga clan so that he could benefit from both sides. As a result, the third generation didn't fall for it. What a pity! The Sandai suddenly said, by the way, I received an application from the first division yesterday. 3 students in the 5th grade will graduate 1 year early. Their names are Hyuga Niji, Tenten, and Rock Lee. Danzo, I have heard of these 3 people. I heard that they often train with Hyuga Tenri. They are among the 12 people. Sandai, you mean? Danzo, it depends on what you mean. You are the Hokage, I am not. It is obvious that the third generation did not want Hyuga Niji to graduate early, lest the Hyuga family's reputation be enhanced, but he did not want to take the blame, so he dragged Danzo into the water, but the cunning Danzo kicked the ball back to the third generation. Not long after, the third generation approved the graduation applications of Hyuga Niji, Tenten, and Rock Lee. No early graduation was allowed. Hokage refused. Hyuga Niji received a reply from Hokage not long after, and he was immediately dejected. Ah, no way! Tian cried, I thought I had reached the level of talent and was ready to become a genius, but I didn't expect that the Hokage would reject me. Xiao Li also shed tears, my youth. Tian Ninkai, in order to make up for my broken heart, you have to give me a mobile phone, a beautiful one, the most expensive one. Ninkai. Xiao Li, I want one too. I don't have money to buy one, but I want the most beautiful and expensive one. Ninkai was embarrassed. Can you guys not be so confident when talking? However, as the son of Hyuga Hisashi, the head of the Hyuga family branch, Ninkai is also a rich man. With tears in his eyes, he paid the lowest price to buy 2 high-end mobile phones and gave them to these 2 scumbag friends. His wallet was immediately emptied. The Hyuga family's underground secret research institute. Hyuga Tenriki woke up from his coma again. System. 10 days? The coma time is getting longer and longer, Hyuga. Tenri looked at the clock and sighed, then touched his hair, which had turned white again. Now Hyuga Tenri has encountered a major bottleneck in blood transformation, perhaps a resistance problem, and the difficulty of blood transformation is getting greater and greater. Now a large syringe of the Tong Mu gene can only increase the conversion rate of Hyuga Tenri, Wang Li, by 0.1%, and the time of coma is getting longer and longer. This won't work. Maybe I need to go to the moon again to see if there is a solution. After making up his mind, Haiga Tenri dyed his hair again and left the institute. Son, where have you been these days, Haiga? Nami complained about the ground. Hayashi handed a letter to Tianli here is a letter for you, sent by the president, it just arrived. He took the letter and unfolded it. There is finally news about the Mamakai Zabuza you are looking for. He appeared in the land of Earth last month. The letter contained the specific address where Zabuza appeared. Tianli rubbed the envelope hard and it turned into powder. Let's put Zabuza aside for now and go to the moon first. Chapter 69. In the ice and snow, a figure sat on a snow wolf and walked north. I didn't look closely at the snow scene last time, but it still looks pretty beautiful now. Haiga Tenriki sat comfortably on the snow wolf, enjoying the scenery here. However, the snow wolf under the seat was not happy at all. Damn, I was happily playing the unspeakable game with my girlfriend, but you came to disturb me and caught me as a mount. What a pity. After walking for 2 or 3 days, Haiga Tenriki had seen enough and kindly let the snow wolf go. The snow wolf was so moved that it ran away in a hurry. Damn it, I have to move quickly, otherwise I will be ridden by this bastard next time. My old waist is almost broken. Soon, a chakra peacock appeared in the snow forest, flapped its wings and flew high, quickly swept to the north. In less than an hour, Haiga Tenriki came to the abyss cave leading to the moon. He was familiar with the way, and soon Haiga Tenriki returned to the interior of the moon. As soon as he came in, the Ten Tails meteorite, which had been quiet, began to tremble and began to slowly absorb the Ten Tails chakra of the moon. Soon, Haiga Tenriki came to the artificial sun. Without 653 people to command them, the puppets have all turned into a pile of slag. Reincarnation Eye, here I come. The giant reincarnation eye was still emitting a huge light, like holy light. As soon as Haiga Tenriki entered here, he felt that his eyes were emitting longing. I hope you can bring me new surprises. He stretched out his hand and placed it on the Samsara eye. The familiar pupil power merged into the Byakugan. Vast, comfortable, cool, and with a slight change. Haiga Tenriki felt like he was having an orgasm again, feeling like he was floating in ecstasy and intoxicated. However, this time the absorption could not purify the blood like the first time, probably because Haiga Tenriki already had the blood of Otoji Mohama in his body. I didn't notice it before, but the blood of Otoji Mohama and Otoji Mohama is completely different, so I'm going to differentiate them now. A quarter of an hour later, Haiga Tenriki felt that the pupil power in his eyes had been full. As long as the chakra is sufficient, with this pupil power, I feel that I can use the weakened version of Golden Wheel Reincarnation Explosion more than 10 times. It is much more pupil power than the first time I absorbed. It is worthy of being a 44% bloodline. After waiting for more than an hour, the 10-tailed meteorite began to absorb chakra, and the power of the Samsara eye also absorbed a lot, and the surface began to change a little. Just as Haiga Tenriki was about to put away the 10-tailed meteorite and leave the moon, the 10-tailed meteorite suddenly let out a beast roar. The beast roared with an evil aura. Tianli was frightened and said, "What the hell?" Then Haiga Tianli felt the entire moon begin to shake, and a breath began to spread. Damn, could it be that the 10 tails is alive? Then Haiga Tenriki felt as if there was another voice in the stone. Come in. Come in. Open the seal. I will give you the invincible strength in the ninja world. A strange space appeared in front of Haiga Tenriki, and there was a door that looked like a sealed ninjutsu. I think Kagaya can still see the earth even though she was sealed, because she was not surprised at all after she was resurrected into Madara's body. At the same time, in a cave in the Earth Ninja realm, Akatsuki was holding a name-wearing competition on the finger of the Outer Path Demon statue. No. Akatsuki competition. Suddenly, the Outer Path Demon statue began to shake, and its face, which had been motionless, suddenly roared silently. What happened? What is it? Chief, this thing is a real monster, Asai. Pain was also stunned. He had summoned the Outer Path Golem before, but he had never seen it move. Ju, on the other hand, was very shocked. What happened? Did someone offend Mother? On the moon. Invincible in the ninja world. Haiga Tenriki suddenly woke up. Isn't this the most common trick used by the sealed villain? Humph. Do you think I'm a native who has never read novels? Hyga Tenriki said nothing and slapped the Ten Tails meteorite with force. Snap! The meteorite shattered directly, and the voice let out a frustrated roar before disappearing. The moon also stopped shaking, and the evil aura disappeared again. That should be Kagaya-hime, right? Or the Ten Tails? Hyga Tenriki has always had a question: why did the Ten Tails meteorite fly from the interior of the moon to the earth? You know, the entire surface of the moon is rocky, how did it break through? And last time, when he found out that the Ten Tails meteorite could absorb the power of the Samsara Eye, Hyga Tenriki was on guard. And just now, Kagaya/Ten Tails stupidly used the classic villain line of "I will give you the invincible strength in the ninja world," which made Hyga Tenriki, who has watched countless movies and read thousands of books, lose interest. No doubt, just smash it. In a cave in the ninja realm, the confused Akatsuki soon discovered that the outer path demon statue had calmed down and turned into a dead object like stone. Everyone, was it an illusion just now? Was it? Was it? Ju shouted in his heart, "Mother, what's wrong with you?" This was the first time he felt his mother's movements. He was very surprised, but now she disappeared again. What the hell? Half a month later. Konoha 12 Xiaoqiang Training Ground. Suzuki, who was beaten by Hyga Niji, had a dark face and found Tian Li. I feel like my strength is increasing too slowly lately. Is there any faster way for me to get stronger quickly? Have. What? Life and death crisis. At this time, Hyga Tenriki did not feel like he was being spied on. He knew that the third Hokage was no longer paying attention to this place, so he said to Suzuki, "Tonight, I will take you out of Konoha and find you a strong man." Suzuki, okay. Hyga Tenriki, this man is the demon Zabuza, a jonin. Chapter 70. Konoha. Dark night. Uchiha clan's residence. A figure flashed by and landed in front of the door of one of the rooms. Knock knock knock. Tian Li. Don't sleep, get up and have fun. Suzuki is embarrassed. The door of the room opened, and then two people came out. Suzuki. How long can your shadow clone be used? Hyga Tenriki looked at the two Suzukis in front of him. 3 days, 4 days, Suzuki. Road. Okay, let's go. This time they are going to find Zabuza Mamakai. Hyga Tenriki is quite interested in his strength and plans to recruit him and buy into the mobile group. Although the mobile group is large, there are few strong people who can really stand on their own. Zabuza is obviously a good target. The only shortcoming is that he is too ambitious. A ninja who is not even at the level of Kage dares to covet the position of Mizu Kage. That's Madara. Even if Madara is exposed and the 5th Mizu Kage takes the position, the 5th Mizukage's perverted strength is enough to easily crush him. However, for an ambitious person like Zabuza, as long as he is abused a few times, when he knows how terrifying the Kage level is, he will probably be obedient. Well, Tenriki will never admit that he did this just because he likes the character of Bai and doesn't want Bai to die. Hyga Tenriki and Suzuki entered the darkness and soon arrived at the edge of Konoha's tall wall. Hyga Tenriki found the gap in the sentry post through his Byakugan and took Suzuki through it and left Konoha. The target this time is the rebel ninja of the mist, Jounin level strength, Mamakai Zabuza. He was originally one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist village. He fled the village and became a traitor after his failed assassination attempt on the Mizu Kage. While walking, Tenriki introduced information about the target to Suzuki. Suzuki was confused. Really, he's going to beat him? He's a jonin. Tenriki shrugged. If he fails, he'll just die. Suzuki almost vomited blood. Don't say it's easy, okay? Don't you want revenge? For revenge, why fear death? I do want revenge, but I am not a jonin, am I? And what did you just say? You said you are an assassination expert. How can I, who is not even a genin, go against such a terrifying ninja? Suzuki complained helplessly. Tian Li suddenly stopped, looked at Suzuki and suddenly laughed. It seems that you have really changed. In the past, you would do anything for revenge, but now, you have begun to become rational. It seems that my efforts on you in the past 2 years have not been in vain. In the past 2 years, although Hyga Tenriki did not tell Suzuki the truth, he also used the opportunity of being trusted by Suzuki to relieve Sasuke's emotions. Suzuki was stunned by Tenriki's words. Thinking back to when his clan was exterminated 2 years ago, he really wanted to find Uchiha Itachi immediately, even if he was killed. But now, his obsession is not so deep. Sasuke was silent, not knowing whether this was good or bad. Well, while no one is around, I'll tell you some truth, Tianli said solemnly. What truth? It's a very dark truth. I've wanted to tell you a long time ago, but Konoha is under surveillance everywhere, especially you. Konoha has been keeping an eye on you for the past 2 years. Being monitored. Sasuke was at a loss. He couldn't feel it at all, but he thought that Tianli would not lie to him. After 2 years of getting along, Sasuke regarded Tianli as a true friend, the kind of friend who would risk his life for him. So although he didn't quite believe what Tianli said, he knew that Tianli would not lie to him. What truth? You say? This has to start from the origin of the Uchiha family, Hyuga. Tenriki began to talk about the important issues lightly, trying to pick out the nice things so as not to irritate Sasuke. Before the establishment of Konoha village, there were 2 major clans in the ninja world. One was the Senjo clan, with Senjo Hashirama as its chief, and the other was the Uchiha clan, with Uchiha Madara as its chief. Blah blah. Tianli artistically recounted some of the events before and after the establishment of Konoha. During the reign of the second Hokage, Senjo Tobirama, the Konoha police force was established and managed by the Uchiha clan. This undoubtedly limited the political influence of the Uchiha clan and pushed the Uchiha clan to the edge of the Konoha political system. However, the Uchiha clan did not realize this problem at the time. Then until the 3rd generation, the Uchiha clan has been growing stronger, but the village has never given the Uchiha clan a status that matches its strength, so the Uchiha clan began to be dissatisfied with Konoha. Sasuke was stunned when he heard this. This was completely different from what he had seen before. He had always lived in the love of his father, mother, and brother, so he didn't pay attention to these things. Then what, Sasuke? Asked anxiously. Hyuga Tenriki, a few months after you were born, Konoha was attacked by the 9 Tails. Many people died at that time, even the 4th Hokage died. It was a heavy loss. Because Uchiha Madara's Sharingan can control the 9 Tails, some of Konoha's high-ranking officials believed that the 9 Tails incident was manipulated by the Uchiha clan. Therefore, at the planning meeting for the reconstruction of the village, the Uchiha clan's new residence was planned to be located in the edge of Konoha, away from the political center. Sasuke felt that all his previous cognition had collapsed. It turned out that there was such a big conflict between Uchiha and Konoha. What happened next? Sasuke asked hurriedly. I heard that the Uchiha clan was preparing a coup, and your brother was the spy placed in Konoha. I don't know why, but your brother became a double agent. After hearing this, Sasuke sat down on the ground in despair. This time, he was confused. On the one hand, he hated Itachi for killing his entire clan, and on the other hand, he kept comforting himself that Itachi had his own difficulties. Chapter 71. The next day. After thinking all night, Sasuke finally regained his spirits. Although I don't know why Itachi did this, I must find a chance to question him, so I have to become stronger. Haha, it seems you are ready. Tianli said with a smile. I'm ready. But can we change our opponent? Isn't the Jonin too exaggerated? Sasuke made a bitter face. Don't worry, no one will die. And the one who dies is you, not me. Tianli laughed. Sasuke had a black line on his forehead, he made a wrong friend. Tianli suddenly said seriously, for the Uchiha family, of course you have to open the Sharingan, which is the 653i that is more powerful than the Byakugan. You have opened a single Megatama now, but it is still of little use in a real battle. If you experience extremely terrifying things, you can continue to open the 2 Megatama Sharingan, and then your strength will increase dramatically. 2 Megatama Sharingan, Sasuke thought of Itachi's eyes and nodded directly. Okay. That's right, keep doing your best and don't die. Sasuke was confused. At this time, Tianli took out a pair of glasses and put them on. Why do you wear glasses? For handsome, Hyuga. Tenriki held his head high. Sasuke fainted. Hyuga Tenriki naturally didn't tell him that he might need the Samsara eye later, so he brought a pair of glasses to cover it up, just in case. Outside a small town. On the road. Zabuza, I really want to kill my current bosses. The money they pay is too little. Shiro, you ask for too much, so they don't want to. Zabuza, how can I restore my country if you don't pay me more? Shiro, you told me before that you don't need useless things like comfort or encouragement, so that's all I can say. Zabuza, okay, you are so pure, smart, and uncontaminated. I admire you for that. Although Zabuza has always been fierce and cold to Shiro, Shiro doesn't care because he is a tool. And Shiro's rational answers to Zabuza often make Zabuza unhappy, but Zabuza can only have a headache every time. The two kept talking on the way out of the town. Suddenly, a voice came from the surrounding trees. Mamakai Zabuza, height, 183 centimeters. Weight, 72 kilograms, specializes in, mist hidden technique, silent assassination technique, other water avatar techniques, water prison technique, waterfall technique. And kills people almost silently. Now he is willing to accept any employer to raise money for revenge. Bai, from the Snow Clan, was a child when his father led the villagers to kill his mother. In panic, he used his bloodline limit to kill everyone present with an ice cone, becoming an orphan. He was killed by Zabuza and became Zabuza's weapon. Who? Zabuza and Bai were shocked. They didn't find anything. Moreover, the other parties seemed to have very detailed information about them. Come out. Who? Come out. Soon, Zabuza and Bai saw two boys about 10 years old coming out. Both of them were wearing flashy robes, and one of them was wearing glasses. Is it you two? Zabuza and Bai felt a Spartan. I was actually scared by two little ghosts. Zabuza felt a little embarrassed, his face suddenly turned cold. Haha, are you looking for death? Hyuga Tenriki shrugged. I'm not looking for death, he is looking for death. After that, he naturally pointed at Suzuki next to him. Suzuki suddenly felt that he was being cheated. Zabuza laughed angrily, and his laugh was very cold. Okay, okay. Two little ghosts dare to tease me, it seems that you think your life is too long. He directly dragged out the beheading sword and pointed it at Uchiha Suzuki. Hyuga Tenriki quickly hid aside, looking like it was none of his business. Suzuki was already in a mess. Damn, it was too bad. Gritted his teeth. Damn, let's fight. I want to fight you. Suzuki gathered his courage and pointed at Zabuza and said. Zabuza said coldly, fighting with me? You will die. A murderous aura emanated from him. Suzuki suddenly became stiff. Such a strong murderous aura, even breathing or blinking can be killed, it feels like your life is in their hands. Are Jonin so strong? Suzuki was shaking all over, even his teeth were chattering. No, no, you will really die like this. Suzuki did not allow his body to react like this, he tried hard to control his trembling body, his heart was full of unwillingness. Mamakai Zabuza easily saw Sasuke's embarrassment and snorted coldly. Real ninjas are those who have been through life and death many times. In other words, only when you can be registered in this grandfather's manual can you be considered a ninja. You are not qualified to be called a ninja at all. Suzuki's forehead was covered with cold sweat. I can't accept this. I can't do this. Suzuki roared in his heart, slowly raised his head, and moved his almost stiff feet. It's useless. There's too big a gap between you and me. Zabuza smiled cruelly and said, 8 places, carotid artery, subclavian artery, throat, spine, lungs, liver, kidneys, heart. Which vital point do you want me to attack? Ah! Suzuki roared, his face full of ferocity, and he rushed towards Mamakai stubbornly. Humph! Too slow. Zabuza raised his sword. However, at this moment, he felt the air around him oppressing him, and it became difficult to move his hands and feet. Mamakai Zabuza was shocked. What's going on? He looked around, but found nothing. At this time, Suzuki had already rushed to him with a kunai. Humph, little devil! Although the sudden pressure slowed him down, it was easy to kill the little devil in front of him. The kunai and the sword collided, but strangely, Suzuki was not knocked away. It seems to be normal. Suzuki suddenly gained confidence and his fear was reduced a lot. Chapter 72. The sun was shining brightly. In the grove, a battle was going on. Suzuki vs Zabuza. The battle had been going on for several minutes, a Jonin versus a ninja student, but the result was not one-sided. Suzuki felt very excited. It turned out that the strength of the Jonin was not as terrifying as he had imagined. After the fear in his heart disappeared, he began to skillfully use all kinds of skills in his usual training, and fought with Zabuza Mamakai. Zabuza Mamakai felt very frustrated. Although the pressure did not make him feel dangerous, it always made him move slower and more laborious. Now he couldn't even take down a kid who was not even a ninja. It was so embarrassing. Suddenly, Zabuza Mamakai found that the pressure was relieved. Great joy! The beheading sword was faster. Sasuke's pressure doubled in an instant, but he still held on. Then, the two sides started to fight back and forth again, but this time Sasuke was basically suppressed. After a while, Mamakai Zabuza felt that the pressure had lightened again, and he was overjoyed again. He waved the beheading sword. Haha, go to hell! Sasuke was shocked and tried to resist, but with a snap, his arm could not withstand it and broke, and then his body was knocked out by a huge force. Poof! Spit out a mouthful of blood. Go to hell, little brat, how dare you waste so much of my time! Zabuza raised his beheading sword high up and chopped it down fiercely. Sasuke couldn't move, watching the sword about to fall, while Hyuga Tenriki in the distance didn't even look at this side. Dying. I can't move. No way. I will really die like this. Ah. I can't die. I want to meet that man. I want to ask him in person. Ah. Sasuke struggled and roared, he didn't want to die yet, at least not before he met the man to ask clearly. The incomparable strong desire to survive stimulated his spirit and brain, and a burst of energy condensed in his eyes. Sasuke only felt a strange energy flowing through his eyes, he didn't know what it was, Asai, but he didn't block it, because he felt a strong breath. His eyes suddenly changed, becoming clearer, and the opponent's movements began to slow down. He opened a single Megatama Sharingan on the night of the genocide, and he knew that this was when he opened a double Megatama Sharingan. However, these are useless, because the speed of the big knife is still very fast, and it only takes 0.1 seconds to cut himself in half. Bang bang! Bang bang! Bang bang! The heart is beating violently, and I can hear it clearly. I can't die! Sasuke roared wildly. He stared at the big sword. Bang! Suddenly, he saw the big knife and the enemy, and was knocked away out of thin air. Congratulations, you have 2 Megatama. Although you only have 1 eye. Hyuga Tenriki appeared in front of Sasuke, and his words shone into Sasuke's mind like sunshine, and all the pain and fear disappeared. At this moment, Sasuke felt that Hyuga Tenriki was very handsome. Well, a little jealous. I have 2 Megatama. Sasuke touched his aching eyes, feeling a little bit unbelievable, and then a little bit surprised. Come, mirror. Tianli took out the mirror he had prepared long ago and handed it to him. Sasuke looked at the eyes in the mirror and saw 2 Megatama in his right eye. Ah! Unforgivable! You 2 little brats! Zabuza, who had just been knocked out by something and became confused, quickly recovered and became angry. He was actually knocked out by a little brat. It was such a shame. Zabuza roared fiercely and rushed over with a big knife, wanting to cut off the 2 little brats in front of him with one knife. Be careful! Sasuke yelled. Then I saw Hyuga Tenriki slowly raised one hand and aimed at Zabuza. Boom! Zabuza was flung out again, this time he flew even farther, and crashed more than 10 meters into a tree before he stopped. Don't make trouble, baby, lie down quickly, Hyuga. Tenriki seemed to have done something insignificant. Zabuza. White. Sasuke. This painting style, how can it be wrong? Damn it! Bai hurried over to save his master. Zabuza yelled, why didn't you help me just now? Bai burst into tears, I wanted to help you just now, but I couldn't move. Zabuza, damn! Bai, you are badly injured. Zabuza, you can't die. Bai, that's right. Zabuza, was I knocked away by that kid just now? I feel his ability is so strange. Bai, I wanted to save you just now, but I couldn't move. The two began to complain inexplicably again. Zabuza recuperated for a while and felt that his body was much better. Picked up the beheading sword. Aimed at Hyuga Tenryu. Little ghost, although I don't know what your ability is just now, but I am the demon Zabuza, you will pay the price if you underestimate me. As he said, Zabuza came to a nearby stream. This time, I'm going to be serious. I'll show you real killing techniques. Zabuza stood firmly on the water, stirring up some ripples, with his left hand pointing upwards and his right hand extending 2 fingers in front of his mouth. Ninjutsu, mist hidden technique. As his voice fell, a hazy white mist began to rise from all around, covering the area around Tianli and Sasuke like the sea. My ninjutsu is more powerful than my taijutsu. A cold voice sounded from all around, mysterious and eerie. In the fog. Chapter 73. Cut. Ding. Blocked. Zabuza stared at the kid with dull eyes. He saw that the kid was wearing a chakra robe. His invincible beheading sword couldn't cut into it. Then he looked at the kid, who was looking at him with a teasing look. The great ninjutsu, air shield, has the characteristics of force dissipation, toughness, and hardness. With the special Byakugan and body of the Hyuga family, it can see through your movements and supply most of the chakra to the part that is about to be attacked at any time to strengthen the defense. This is not something you can break through. Hyuga Tenriki was full of confidence. Look down on me. Zabuza immediately exploded. He swung his sword. Another strike. Another strike. Another strike. It still didn't cut in. Zabuza's eyes almost popped out. No, it must be the wrong method. Try. Another method. Zabuza quickly disappeared in the mist. Soon after, there was a rustling sound around. Water sound. Water style, water dragon bullet technique. With Zabuza's shout, a water dragon swirled up, bringing up waves all over the sky, and rushed towards Hyuga. Feeling the huge water dragon, Sasuke beside him trembled with his teeth. Is this a Jonin? I just fought with him for so long. However, Tianli just gently pushed his hands towards the water dragon. Ninja body, star breaker. A violent wave instantly hit the water dragon bomb. Buzz. Bang. All of a sudden, the entire water dragon was blown up in mid-air. Countless water splashed down directly. Humph, you've fallen into the trap. Water escape technique, water prison technique. A huge sphere suddenly appeared, sealing Hyuga Tenriki inside. Oh no! Tenriki is in danger. Sasuke was startled and rushed to save him, but was knocked away by Zabuza. Zabuza looked at Hyuga Tenriki with a sneer on his face, and a hint of pride that he himself didn't know about. Although I don't know why you are so powerful, but you still have too little experience. So, go to hell. However, Zabuza saw Hyuga Tenriki showing a mocking smile, and then stretched out his palm. Bang! The whole water prison sphere was exploded at once. How is it possible? Zabuza was shocked. Hyuga Tenriki stood on the ground again, flicked the water droplets on his clothes leisurely. Okay, I won't play with you anymore. Zabuza play. Then he became angry and his arrogant face was full of hidden ghosts. Bang! Before Zabuza could finish his words, he was once again knocked away by an unknown force. What's this? Bang! Got knocked away again. Damn it! Water style, water dragon. Bang! Fly again. Ah! I'll fight you. Water style, great waterfall. Bang! Got shot again. White, rescue. Bang! He was knocked away again. Every time, the force that appeared from nowhere knocked him unconscious, and he was unable to defend himself. Every time he tried to resist, he failed. Finally, the strange force stopped. Mamakai Zabuza lay on the ground coughing up blood. He had experienced countless pursuits and carried out various bounty missions for many years, but he had never been so passive. Even when his political power was defeated, he had never been so embarrassed. Is this really a child? How can he be so scary? I am a Jonin. And I am Zabuza, the mist-hidden demon who is feared by countless people in the ninja world. Zabuza suddenly felt that his worldview was about to collapse, and he felt that his previous self-proud life was worse than a dog's. Bai finally ran over at this time. What's the matter? Zabuza, why did you come now? Why didn't you save me just now? Bai, I couldn't move just now. Zabuza. His eyes went dark, and the little ghost walked in front of him. How is it? Are you convinced? What do you want? Zabuza's unruly face was full of dissatisfaction, but in his heart he had already accepted it. I am impressed by your abilities, and I want to recruit you. Recruiting me? Who are you? You don't need to worry about who it is. I will give you a letter of introduction. You can go to the mobile group. Their president will meet you and give you a good salary. Mobile group? The mobile group that destroyed the land of lightning and the cloud village. Zabuza's eyes bulged, and his face showed excitement. Zabuza admired that strong man so much. Just when he was making it his life goal to overthrow the Mizukage and become the Mizukage himself, the other party had already started to destroy the village. No need to say. I'll go. Zabuza agreed without saying anything. He looked like a complete idiot fan. Hyga Tenriki suddenly felt a sense of failure. He had thought of several methods but none of them worked. A day later, Tenriki and Suzuki returned to Konoha. After this experience outside the village, Suzuki has undergone earth-shaking changes. He opened 2 Megatama Sharingan and his strength has improved. After fighting a Jonin, both his vision and mentality have been greatly elevated. After coming back, he suddenly looked down on the training of the 12 little strong men, because he felt that this kind of training was just playing house. However, there is another result. The more he watched, the more he found that Hyga Tenriki was unfathomable. Chunin? A ninja who can make a powerful Jonin spin around and have no way to deal with him, can he be a Chunin? Suzuki doesn't believe it. Moreover, Tenriki actually knows the president of the mobile group. Is it really weird? Hot Spring Country. Mobile Group Headquarters. Kakuzu received a letter from Hyga Tenriki. Zabuza? His head seems to be worth. Damn it, I am a domineering CEO now, chopping off someone's head is too embarrassing. Work *. Chapter 74. On the dining table. Brother, I want chicken drumsticks, Hwa. Huo lay on Tianli's lap, drooling as she pointed at the tempting chicken drumstick on the other side of the table. Tianli leaned over and picked it up, put it in Huo's bowl, and rubbed her tiny head. Father, I want to ask, do you know any ninjutsu that can store chakra? Hayashi thought for a while, shook his head and said, I only know one ninjutsu, which is the yin seal of Tsunade, the apprentice of Sarutobi Hiruzen, but it is quite top secret, and I don't know the details. It seems to be a secret technique from the Uzumaki clan. Tsunade. Hyga Tenriki's mind immediately popped up the image of the turbulent Tsunade, a charming woman that many Naruto fans like to imagine. Then 157 he thought of a diamond-shaped mark that often appeared on Tsunade's forehead in the Naruto plot. Thinking of this, many details were recalled by Tenriki. This ninjutsu had appeared on Uzumaki Mito, the wife of the first Hokage, and was common in Tsunade. Finally, Tsunade's apprentice Harano Sakura also learned it. Usually, chakra is accumulated on the forehead, and a diamond-shaped mark will be formed on the forehead. When needed, the seal-breaking ninjutsu yin seal unseal can be used to release a large amount of chakra, which can allow the injured body to regenerate. This seems to meet my requirements. Tianli held his chin and thought. What are you asking for? Rizu asked. I now have several powerful ninjutsu, super powerful. My current chakra is completely insufficient, so I need a ninjutsu that can accumulate chakra in normal times and release it at critical moments. Hyga Tenriki said. The problem that Hyga Tenriki is facing now is that he has pupil power, but the Ten Tails meteor is gone, so even if he wants to release big moves like Golden Wheel, Silver Wheel, his own Jonin chakra can't support it. Moreover, Air Shield Broken Star Activation Chakra Giant. These ninjutsu consume a lot of chakra when used, especially the Chakra Giant. In the past, there was the Ten Tails meteorite, so chakra could be provided continuously, and it didn't matter if the big moves were used randomly. Now the meteorite is gone, and then it's miserable. When you are used to being a rich man, and suddenly become a beggar, the gap is simply fatal. Therefore, Hyga Tenriki now needs a ninjutsu that can store chakra in normal times, so that he can have the confidence to go crazy at the critical moment. Sometimes he still envies Naruto, a Jinchuriki with almost infinite chakra. Super ninjutsu, Hyga. Hayashi was full of thoughts. Could it be the 2 moves that destroyed the daimyo's mansion in the land of lightning and the cloud shinobi village? Could it be that his son's pupil power has recovered? He was immediately looking forward to it. He really wanted to see the evolved version of the Byakugan that Tenryu mentioned, the Samsara Eye. Hyga Hayashi looked at his wife and 2 daughters, and said to Tenryu, come to my study after dinner. After dinner, Hayashi soon came to the room and saw Hyga Tenryu's 2 eyes. Oh my god, is this the Samsara Eye? Hizu felt that these eyes were so perfect and beautiful. Have you evolved into this kind of eyes now? No. Tianli shook his head, My eyes are only 44% improved now, and I have to keep improving my blood. Unfortunately, the effect of extracting from the experimental body is getting less and less. I can't open these eyes normally, and I try to save my pupil power, so I can only use my Byakugan. Rizu sighed, that's already counted, compared to the other people in the Hyuga family, you've taken a big step forward. Tianli, I'm sorry, father, I wanted to help you, but I haven't accumulated enough. Hayashi waved his hand indifferently. No, I won't leave the village, and it's useless to be strong. But Tianli still felt the disappointment in his heart. Tianli thought for a while Tsunade has not come back in the past few years, so I want to go out and look for her during this period of time. It would be great if I can learn this ninjutsu. Hayashi nodded. Go, I will say hello to the third generation in Konoha, maybe I can learn from him where Tsunade is. Hyuga Hayashi was very efficient. After talking to Tenriki, he went straight to the Hokage's office building. Sande, you mean, Hyuga Tenriki wants to learn the Yin Seal? Hayashi nodded yes. Sande was puzzled. Isn't that right? None of your Hyuga family's ninjutsu should use this ninjutsu, right? Hayashi began to deceive without blushing. Tenriki has developed 3 ninjutsu. The power is quite good, but the disadvantage is also great. It consumes a lot of chakra, so he wants to learn the Yin Seal, store chakra in peacetime, and prepare for battle in advance. Sande believed it, because he had also seen those 3 ninjutsu, and it was obvious that they consumed a lot of chakra. At this time, Sande was a little happy in his heart. I originally wanted to find an excuse to win you over, but I didn't expect you to come to my door on your own initiative. Sande readily wrote a letter of introduction for Tenriki and informed him of where Tsunade might appear. On this day, the weather was fine and the sky was clear. The bustling mobile building welcomed 2 strange men. The leader of the strange men was carrying a big knife, with patterns all over his body. His mouth and nose were covered, and he had no eyebrows. He had a defiant look on his face, and he glanced around coldly, walked into the lobby with a solemn step. The 5.9 knife was inserted into the ground, and the thick granite slab became like tofu. Cool. Cool. Drag. All the employees retreated. I want to see your president. At this time, 2 security guards came over. Hey, who are you? How dare you cause trouble here? Do you know where this is? Are you looking for death? Bang. With 2 loud bangs, the 2 security guards were knocked flying. Too weak, Zabuza said unhappily. Although he admired the super strong man, he also wanted to weigh these people's weight when they were employed. If they were inferior, he could take the position directly. Chapter 75. Yuzhiguo. Mobile Group Base. As Mobile Group expands its business in various countries in the ninja realm, money flows in like water, and the entire Yuzhiguo Daimyofo has completely become a prosperous and bustling city. Here, countless young people from various countries come here with the dream of a lot of money and stupid people to dig for gold, and then after seeing the colorful world here, they stay here to fight, dreaming of having a place here. The housing prices in the city center have skyrocketed to 80,000 yuan per square meter. Property owners are cheering, while those who have not bought a house are crying and regretting. Experts call for caution when buying a house. You can first purchase housing prices in other areas and wait for the price to rise later. Invest in real estate, double your money in a month. Becoming a millionaire is not a dream. Bank loan interest rate is 6%. Yesterday, 2 small gangs started fighting in Chaoyang Street. They failed to show off and ended up getting beaten up. The city management warriors came and beat them down in an instant, staging a scene of tears behind bars. Recently, a rich second-generation man drove a bicycle and killed a child in 2008. When facing the city management warriors, he arrogantly said that he was the prince of the Milky Way Empire. Be careful that he will bring the Milky Way FUV to destroy the Earth. Zabuza Mamakai played a challenge in the headquarters building of the mobile group and confirmed that the president was not good enough. He left with disdain and pride. He went out to the street and bought a newspaper directly, ready to learn about the place where he would live in the future. But after reading the contents of the newspaper, he was so Spartan. Humph, a lot of trouble. At the same time, I am also deeply jealous of these wealthy people who own real estate. Why are they so rich, while I am a pauper after fighting for my life? Not to mention revenge for the Mizu cage, I don't even have a house. By persuaded you will be able to go in and become a leader soon, and then you will get a lot of salary. I just heard that the senior executives of the mobile group will be provided with a villa with a hot spring. Zabuza felt a little relieved. Zabuza-bai actually started to comfort me. Didn't I say I don't need to comfort these useless things? Bai, I found out these 2 days that comfort is actually useful. Zabuza, really? Well. Your comfort just now was indeed useful. Zabuza has now begun to imagine the days of being a leader in this land, leading a group of younger brothers, and bullying the weak and acting tyrannically. I didn't become the Mizukage, but being able to be a leader here seems not bad either. Zabuza's obsession with the position of Mizukage suddenly dissipated a lot. On the first day, the president didn't show up, so Zabuza and Bai stayed in a 5-star hotel. At this time, Zabuza finally felt the ultimate enjoyment of the service: hot springs, massages, back massages, massages. Everything. The waiters served you well, just raise your eyes, the waiters will serve you perfectly, even talking makes people feel comfortable. This is paradise. Zabuza suddenly felt that living here was a good choice. Bai reminded him, you want to be the Mizukage. Zabuza was righteous and slapped away the delicate little hand that was massaging him. Get lost, don't use these gentle things to corrupt me, I'm going to be the Mizukage in the future. Shiro's face was full of black lines. The next day, Zabuza and Bai were eating their breakfast of fried dough sticks and paste next to a fried dough stick stall. The stall owner fried one and the two of them ate one. The customers around them expressed strong dissatisfaction with this shameless behavior. How could you two do this? You occupy this seat and won't let us eat the fried dough sticks. That's right, we still need to eat. Boss, they are breaking the rules. Zabuza and Bai ignored them, and Zabuza even stuck his beheading sword into the ground, scaring away the customers around. The two ate with gusto and couldn't stop eating. While eating, they were also amazed. This fried dough stick is so delicious. Tasty. I have never had such a delicious breakfast. Why haven't I seen this kind of breakfast before? The stall owner said proudly, this was taught to my family by the president himself. Don't underestimate my stall, the president has a share in it. Did you see the sign of my stall? President's fried dough sticks. President's fried dough sticks, fried dough sticks, dough sticks. Zabuza and Haku were stunned. This president is so willful. Half an hour later, after having breakfast, Zabuza finally met the legendary president in the huge office on the top floor of the mobile building. The president was dressed in a suit, gentle and thin. He became thinner after his 4 hearts were destroyed. What? Just an ordinary person. Zabuza and Bai exchanged glances. Hey, my name is Zabuza, a little kid asked me to come here, are you the president? Zabuza pointed his knife at Kakuzu. Well, let me first weigh your weight. If I win, I will be the president and you will be the younger brother. How about that? Okay, what if you lose? I'm dead, you can do whatever you want with me. I'm coming. After saying that, Zabuza rushed over with his knife without any more words. Bang! He flew back at an even faster speed, fell to the ground and rolled more than 10 times before stopping. Damn, it's actually a tall. Bang! He was kicked away again. How can I be so fast? I am a Jonin, a water ninja, mist ninja. Bang! He was kicked away again. I am a fog addict, look at my water escape technique, water dragon. Bang! Kicked away. White. Bang! Kicked away. Stop, don't. Bang! Continue to be kicked away. I surrender. Bang! Still got kicked away. Chapter 76. This unsociable guy had beaten up the entire company's security and ninja team before he even got to work, which made Kakuzu very anxious yesterday. After beating him up, he finally got rid of his anger. Moreover, Tian Li said in the letter that this person was unruly and ambitious, but he didn't have the strength to match, so the best way was to beat him again, and beat him continuously until his ambition disappeared. We agreed, if you lose you have to listen to me. Kakuzu said. All right. Zabuza covered his pig-headed face and looked at the gentlemanly CEO with resentment. Damn it, why is he pretending to be gentlemanly when he is so powerful? Are you deliberately trying to trick me? Then you should clean the toilet today. Clean the toilet. The toilet. The toilet. Zabuza was immediately furious. What? You want me to clean the toilet? I am a. Bang. Continue to be kicked away. Kick me again. Bang. Still kicked away. Bang. Kick. I'll wash it, okay. Zabuza almost cried, damn, he originally thought that he could act tyrannically and be the boss after coming here, but he got beaten up before he even started, and he had to clean the toilet, and if he didn't, he would be beaten again. Is there still justice? Is there still law? I'd better leave. I don't want to be angry like this. Zabuza came up with an idea. You'd better not think about leaving, otherwise I will issue a 100 million reward to the exchange for your head. Suddenly, a cold and melancholy voice came from Kakuzu. Zabuza died immediately, tears streaming down his face. Woo woo woo. Damn it, are you going to let me live? Then, a pig head with a bruised face and a swollen nose began to appear in the mobile group building, cleaning the toilet. Those who were beaten by Zabuza felt relieved and shouted loudly, "Long live the president!" Hyaga Tenriki soon received Kakuzu's description of Mamakai Zabuza's current situation, and after a slight chuckle, he ignored it. Today, Hyaga Tenriki will go to look for Tsunade. Yin Seal. Here I come. Tansho Castle. One of the large game halls is located on the edge of the city. Game coins are on sale. A big promotional board was placed at the door. At this time, two women and a pink door came out. The leading woman was obviously in a bad mood and was walking in front. Then the young woman followed behind with a big bag of prizes. Shizuan Sir Tsunade, it is definitely a miracle for you to exchange so many prizes, why are you still unhappy? Tsunade, let's just take a look and leave here quickly. Shizuan, really? It's such a famous place, shouldn't we take a good look around? Tsunade, then take a quick look and then leave. She had a bad feeling that trouble was coming, so she left quickly. Shizuan could only quickly visit the scenic spots. Soon, they came to the bottom of the ancient city tower. Shizuan exclaimed, wow! Looking up from here, it's so spectacular. It's worthy of being a cultural heritage. Tsunade urged, don't talk so leisurely, let's go. Shizuan, what's the hurry? Why not take a look? Just then, a young man wearing a Konoha forehead protector appeared on the top of the tower they were looking up at. The golden patterned robe was eye-catching and showy, but still looked very handsome. Tsunade and Shizuan's eyes fixed, this person was so fast, he appeared suddenly. Tianli smiled and greeted, hi, Tsunade-sama, Shizuan's sister, good afternoon. Tsunade, you got the wrong person. Tenriki, don't try to explain yourself. I recognize this pig. Tsunade, Shizuan, I was furious. Damn it. You didn't recognize us, you recognized the pig. Piglet, I am innocent. Tsunade, let's go. She left with Shizuan and Pig with a cold face. Tenriki shrugged. That night, Tsunade and Shizuan wanted to get rid of Tianli, so they left at night and came to a new city the next day. Wow, there's a casino here. Tsunade's hands were itching, and she couldn't wait to rush in. Shizuan complained. Tsunade waved her hands nonchalantly, don't worry, I will definitely win this time. Jingyan was dejected, I am afraid of you. Tsunade, hand over your money. Shizuan, this is our meal money. Tsunade, stop talking nonsense. Tsunade snatched the money from Shizuan's hand and walked into the casino, and her eyes suddenly bulged out. Inside the casino, an extremely eye-catching young man was wielding his hands at the gambling table, killing everyone. Why is it him again? Then when Tsunade saw the chips piled up in front of Tenriki, her eyes lit up. $. Why is he here too? Shizuan was surprised to see it. Tsunade sat next to Hyaga Tenriki, hello, King Nyo, give me half of the chips. Tianli pushed all the chips in front of Tsunade and said, here are more than 3 million, all yours. If you lose everything, come to me again. Wow! Tsunade became the next person after Kakuzu who was blinded by the wealth of Tenryu. Then Tsunade started to be generous and lavish at the gambling table. Then, half an hour later, more than 3 million chips, clean and smooth. Shizuan, taking the power of heaven. Tsunade pulled Tenryu over and said, let's go drink and have a good time. That night, the three of them drank and the atmosphere was lively. The next morning, Tenryu woke up. And then, he was stunned. Damn, where are the people? Chapter 77. Finally got rid of that trouble, Tsunade. drank a large glass of wine happily, feeling refreshed. Lady Tsunade, this is not good. Silent. And weak. Nonsense, I've spent all his money, it would be strange if I didn't run away, otherwise he would follow me and harass me every day, that would be really a big problem. Lady Tsunade, who do you say he is? Nonsense, a pair of white eyes, and a ninja forehead protector at such a young age, and he is so rich, who else could it be except the young master of the Hyuga family? Didn't we go back to Konoha 7 years ago? When the Kumo ninja came to Konoha, I always heard that the young master of the Hyuga family was very powerful. Tsunade said. Is it him? Shizuan exclaimed in surprise, if it's him, that means he's only 10 years old. Yes, at the age of 10. Both the Uchiha and Hyuga families have produced extraordinary geniuses. Tsunade smiled bitterly. She was the only one left of the Senju clan, which used to be the most powerful clan in Konoha, including Hashirama Senju and Tobirama Senju. And now, because of the death of her brother and lover, coupled with her hemophobia, she can only live in poverty, using alcohol and gambling to numb herself every day. However, the Uchiha clan is now extinct, with only Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke left, and only the Hyuga clan is left. Now it seems that with the genius future clan leader, Hyuga Tenriki, the Hyuga clan will only become stronger and stronger. It's really enviable. Tsunade sighed. She drank another glass of wine. Don't drink any more, or I'll have to pay for it, and I don't have any money left. Shizuan complained. The little pink pig hummed a few times to show its agreement. Tsunade boss, another pot of wine. Shizuan Tsunade-sama, please stop drinking. Just then, a voice came over. What a bad gambler, he ran away after owing debts. Tsunade, Shizuan, and Pig were stunned for a moment. As expected, the showy young man with rich gold hair appeared at the door again. I tracked you down so quickly. Tsunade sighed inwardly, this is indeed a big trouble. Boss, give me a KFC. Air. Deluxe meal, Tian Li. Ignored Tsunade and the others and ordered directly, following you two has made me hungry and tired enough. Soon, Tian Li's table was filled with a luxurious banquet, with river fish, chicken, duck, fish, and all kinds of delicacies from the mountains and the sea. It was so delicious. It made people drool. The attention of the diners in the entire restaurant was attracted. Oh, this deluxe set meal is too bad, but it can fill my stomach. Tian Li said without caring. Gilu. Tsunade and Shizuan swallowed their saliva together. They burst into tears. It's been a long time since I had a big meal. I'm so poor that I can only eat instant noodles every day. Eat. Hyuga Tenriki cheered and started eating happily. Tsunade and Shizuan on the other side felt that the whole world was malicious, their stomachs were growling, and they were protesting seriously. Do you have to be so cruel? Finally, Tsunade blushed, picked up her chopsticks and a wine glass and ran to the table where Tenriki was. Oops, I wonder if this dish has any salt, kid, let me taste it for you. Tsunade's evil chopsticks went straight to a large lobster overflowing with juicy juice. Jingyi uncovered her forehead. Oh my god! How can there be such a person in the world? Then, she also ran over with chopsticks in hand, wanting to try the food. It has been a long time since she had such delicious food, right? A month? 2 months? No, half a year. Eve. Even if it is embarrassing this time, she will eat more. The little pink pig covered her face and said, these two masters are simply. Then it came running over, begging for food. Well, it sat next to Tian Li. Life is not easy for pigs either. A weird dinner started like this. Afterwards, Tsunade finished eating, clapped her hands, and left directly. Shizuan followed her out with her face covered. The little pink pig was reluctant to leave at first, and wanted to continue eating with its belly full, but was carried away by Shizuan. Even if it screamed and struggled, it was useless. Hinata. Tenriki did not chase after her, and continued to eat a big lobster slowly. After Tsunade left the restaurant, she smiled and said, what an amazing kid. Shizuan was at a loss. Let's go to the casino. Tsunade, who had eaten and drunk enough, waved her hand. But, Lady Tsunade, we have no money now. Shizuan is about to cry. There will be. Tsunade searched for a while and finally found the only casino in the town. Although it was small, it had many varieties and many customers. And the rich young man was sitting inside and killing all the people. There was a pile of chips in front of him. The dealer's face was covered with sweat at this time. Obviously, he had lost a lot. Tsunade sat next to Tianli with familiarity, and then directly took all the chips in front of Tianli and swipe over. Shizun and Little Pink Pig covered their faces again. What kind of people are these? Then Tsunade lost a lot. The casino dealer was beaming with joy. Soon, the pile of chips was lost completely. Bad luck. Tsunade slammed the table and took Tianli away. Not long after, the three people and the pig left the town. Tsunade, little boy, tell me, what do you want to do? Tianli, I want to learn the yin seal. Tsunade looked back at Tianli and said, do you know what the yin seal is used for? You shouldn't know any large-scale ninjutsu at your age, right? Tianli showed it directly with his actions. Ninja Body Chakra Giant. Soon, a 10-meter tall chakra giant appeared in front of Tsunade, and his image was exactly the same as the imp in front of her. Tsunade was surprised. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Tianli. The chakra of our Hyuga family can be released through the whole body. This is a large-scale ninjutsu I designed based on this feature. It can make up for the shortcomings of our Hyuga family that can only rely on the soft fist bagua and cannot use large-scale ninjutsu. However, the only disadvantage is that it consumes a lot of chakra. Tianli's words were of course a lie. The Great Success Realm can already perfectly control chakra and greatly reduce consumption. Chapter 78. On the way to the daimyo's mansion. Tsunade, the yin seal is a secret technique inherited from the Uzumaki clan. Unfortunately, the Uzumaki clan has been destroyed now, just like the Uchiha clan. Master Tsunade, you are getting off topic. Shizun reminded weakly. Tsunade to Tenryu, if you want to learn it, then you need to worship me as your master. In the future, we will be a community, sharing honor and disgrace. Tenryu hesitated. Worship? Tenryu has not thought about this, because he has always been confident in his future strength. However, from another angle, it seems to be very good. Tsunade's ability is not bad, and there are slugs, Kwayu. This is a wet bone forest that is as famous as Miyaboku Mountain and Earth Dragon Cave. Then, Tsunade will become the 5th Hokage, and the chance of becoming the 6th or 7th Hokage will increase greatly. Coming to this world, it would be a bit embarrassing if I didn't play with a Hokage. At the same time, Tsunade's medical ninjutsu is the best in the ninja world, and her research on the human body is unmatched. If you can learn these from her, it will be of great help to Hyuga Tenryu to control the secrets of the body. Ninja body activation has reached a higher stage, which requires more professional medical ninjutsu and knowledge of body structure. However, the most important thing is not the above, but to improve the research on the two special bloodlines of the Hyuga family bloodline and the Otoji Myokan bloodline. Perhaps, after learning from her, the stagnation of blood conversion rate can be improved. It has been stuck at 44% for a long time. Thinking of this, Hyuga Tenriki suddenly realized that Tsunade was indeed suitable to be his teacher. There were too many advantages. Tenriki nodded vigorously. No problem. Tsunade clapped her hands. Okay, from today on, I will be your teacher. From today on, I need to eat delicious food, every meal is a big meal, and live in the best hotel. No problem. Tianli said nonchalantly, money is never a problem. From now on, give me 1 million every month as a gift. No problem. Tianli answered more straightforwardly. Seeing the kid's nonchalant expression, Tsunade suddenly wondered if she had said 1 million was too little. She began to regret and roar in her heart, damn it, I regret it so much. I should have said 2 million. No, 3 million. Under such circumstances, Hyuga Tenriki became Tsunade Senjo's apprentice. Along the way, the footprints of 3 people and 1 pig were left behind, and a small incident also occurred during the journey, but it soon disappeared. In a flash, a year had passed. It was April of the 59th year of Konoha. Suddenly one day, Hyuga Tenriki said goodbye. Teacher Tsunade, I have learned almost everything and I have to go back to Konoha. Tsunade waved her hand. Go back, you have learned almost everything about the basics, the rest is up to you to figure out. Tsunade was very satisfied with Tenli's talent. Perhaps because of the Hyuga clan, Tenli had a thorough understanding of acupuncture points and human body structure, and learned medical ninjutsu very quickly. Some of the novel ideas inspired Tsunade a lot, and her own medical ninjutsu has also improved greatly in the past year. As for the Yin Seal, Hyuga Tenli had already mastered it half a year ago, and was slowly accumulating chakra. There was also a diamond-shaped mark on Tenli's forehead, but it was usually blocked by Tenli's ninja forehead guard. According to Tenli's estimation, the chakra stored for half a year is enough for him to release the weakened version of Golden Wheel, Silver Wheel 3 times. In the future, if you see someone you are unhappy with, just use your ultimate move, no matter what kind of bird he is, just blow him up. Tenli, then I'll leave now. Tsunade. Wait, leave some money, otherwise I will be poor again. Tianli. The cheating master has spent more than 10 million this year. If it were an ordinary person, he would have gone bankrupt long ago. Forget it, master, not master. Once a teacher, always a father. Hyuga. Tianli quickly wrote a check and handed it to Shizuan. Shizuan grabbed it quickly and hid the money quickly. Tsunade was furious. What's going on? Hey! I'm your master, okay. Shizuan, hand over the check. Shizuan refused. No, or you'll spend it all at once. Tianli, the check is for 15 million, a little over 1 million a month, enough for you to spend. Sister Shizuan, remember not to let the master take it away. Shizuan nodded solemnly. If she wants to take it, she has to step over my dead body. 15 million, Tsunade is frustrated and feels miserable. By the way, eat more moderately. I feel that I have gained a lot of weight. Don't you feel that your shoulders are tired? Tenri glanced at Tsunade's surging energy and said, "Get out! You pervert!" Tsunade, in a state of shame and anger, punched Tianli and sent him flying out of the sky, disappearing. Shizuan snickered. Hyuga Tenriki is eager to return home. I feel like I have a new understanding of blood gene research. Maybe I can study Autogy Toneri again, extract new things, and improve my blood conversion rate. The only pity is that Tsunade has hemophobia, so she can only be taught by Shizuan during the experiment. Unfortunately, there is no way to cure her disease. It seems that Naruto, the hot-blooded mouth cannon, is still needed to deal with it. Tsunade's life was also filled with misfortunes. The tragic death of her brother made her propose that each ninja team should be equipped with a medical ninja. Then her lover Dan died while performing a mission with her. Even though she had a certain level of medical ninjutsu at the time, she was unable to save Dan. Tsunade, who faced death twice, has since developed an abnormal fear of blood. Whenever there is blood, her whole body will tremble. This is also because her heart was hurt too much, so her hemophobia is very serious. Even Tianli has tried various methods but failed to cure it. At the same time, because the goal of Nawase and Dan is to become Hokage, she later looked down on those who said they wanted to be Hokage, thinking that only stupid people want to be Hokage. Chapter 79. Konoha, I'm back. After a year away, Tianli shouted in front of the gate of Konoha. After checking the entry and exit certificate, Tianli hurried home. He has grown a lot taller. Hyuga Nami pulled Tianli to look left and right. No matter how much she looked, it was not enough. Mother, it's not like I don't call you normally. Tianli was embarrassed. But Hyuga Hayashi wanted to maintain the dignity of a parent, so he stood by and smiled without saying a word. Hug, brother. When Huahuo saw Tianli, she cheered and flew over to him. Then she hung on Tianli like a little bear and was very affectionate. Oh! The little beauty of fireworks has grown taller again. Tianli touched Hanabi's head. By the way, where's Hinata? She's still in class. Not long after, Hinata came home from school and was very happy to see Tenriki. After the family finished dinner, Tenriki talked about his life in the past year. Late at night, Hyuga Tenriki and Hyuga Hayashi came to the underground secret research institute. Tenriki, this year, I learned a lot of medical ninjutsu from teacher Tsunade, and I have a better understanding of the human body. I hope that this time I can continue to improve my own bloodline. Hayashi, is Tsunade still the same? Tenriki, yes, she doesn't want to go back to Konoha. In the following month, Hyuga Tenriki began to improve the research and finally extracted a new gene. After the injection into the body, he fainted directly. Hyuga Hayashi was not surprised. As a result, he did not wake up on the 5th day. Did not wake up on the 10th day. Did not wake up on the 15th day. Hyuga Hayashi was anxious all of a sudden, fearing that something had happened. If all the life signs of Tenriki in the nutrient tank were not normal, Hyuga Hayashi would probably have gone crazy. On the 18th day, Hyuga Tenriki woke up. System Dakuni Wood Bloodline, blood conversion rate 58.0%. Side effects, none for the time being. 58.0%. Hyuga Tianli's eyes dropped to the ground. Then he laughed excitedly. Haha! I am finally relieved now. Originally, he was afraid that he would stop at 14%, but this time, it was directly increased to 78%. This is a 14% increase rate. Maybe it was an illusion. Hyuga Tenriki felt that his body seemed to have become bigger, and the chakra capacity had increased a lot. I don't know how long it took, he holds the date clock. 18 days. Tianli was surprised again. He looked in the mirror again and saw that his hair had turned completely silver white and had grown to his waist. Tianli quickly cut his hair and dyed it black, returning to his original look. He finally looked normal. When he left the institute and returned to the ground, Rizua found him immediately and was overjoyed. Fortunately you are fine. Tianli, don't worry, I succeeded, 58%. Rizua shook his head. I was almost scared to death this time. If there is a first time, there will be a second and a third time. After another 2 months, Tianli succeeded 4 times in a row, raising the blood conversion rate to 76%. However, it began to slow down again, as if it was deliberately tormenting Tianli. Damn it, should I go and ask the technology madman Snake Uncle for advice? Tianli was speechless. Snake Uncle, an albino, was physically disabled but mentally strong, and devoted his life to scientific research. He didn't rely on his parents, didn't rely on his father, didn't talk nonsense, and didn't cling to his brother's legs. He was disabled by the villain-rich second-generation brothers, but he still repaid evil with kindness. He accepted all kinds of injustice in reality, actively participated in charity, took in abandoned children in society, endured humiliation for decades, and finally mastered core technology and reached the top of the ninja world. It was such a person who was devastated by fate, and the first thing he did after success was to help the down-and-out evil boy and revive his enemy with a broken hand. What kind of mind is this? Okay, for this funny remark, I will find time to go find him right away. Tenli decided. On that evening, Hyuga Hisashi brought Hyuga Niji to his house to have dinner together. Niji sat next to Tenli and said, Master, I will have my graduation exam tomorrow. Tenli slapped his head and said, Oh my god, I was so busy that I forgot about this. Ningji, I heard that after graduation, there will be a teacher leading the team. What teacher do you think I will be assigned to? Your teacher. Tianli immediately thought of the might guy with thick eyebrows and a watermelon head, a ninja who has a 100% match with Xiao Li and a 0% match with other students. A super awesome ninja. Really? Niji is a little looking forward to it. Tenli. If Niji sees his teacher tomorrow, he will probably burst into tears. The next day, Tenli brought all the little strong men to watch the graduation exams of Nisi, Tenten, and Rock Lee. The 3 of them are very strong students, and ordinary Chunins can't compare to them. If it weren't for the pressure from the 3rd generation, the 3 of them could have graduated long ago. Sure enough, after passing a series of tests, Nisi, Tenten, and Rock Lee got the ninja forehead protectors. Next, it was to assign teachers. After grouping, the 3 of them really became a group. Not long after, a teacher with thick eyebrows and a melon-shaped head appeared in the classroom. The whole class of new ninjas showed disgust, black lines, complaints. All kinds of expressions. Rock Lee was an exception. Nisi and Tenten shouted in their hearts, It's not us, it's not us, it's not us. The teacher with thick eyebrows made a weird pose, raised his left hand, gave a thumbs up, and yelled. Haha, my name is Might Guy, a very powerful ninja, who are Hyuga Niji, Tenten, Rock Lee, you come out, I will be your teacher from now on. At the end, he added a sentence. Bloom. Youth. What a bolt from the blue. Niji and Tenten were struck by lightning, and almost fainted in the toilet. The other groups of new ninjas were all laughing and gloating over the misfortune. Chapter 80. Tenriki accidentally met Kakashi, which was considered a good relationship, but the 2 did not talk much, just a few words. Hyuga Tenriki was no longer planning to stay in Konoha, but to leave the village to look for Snake Uncle. Next year, in the year 60, Naruto, Sasuke and others will graduate. In the same year, the Chunin exam will take place, and that will be the beginning of Konoha's collapse plan. Therefore, Orochimaru must be in one place. Otagakure. Otagakure, the village founded by Orochimaru after he left Konoha, uses an eighth note as its symbol. All ninjas in the village use sound attacks. Next year, they will attack Konoha village together with Sand village. After thinking of a plan, Tenryu left a shadow clone at the Hyuga family, and then the real body left Konoha at night. Otagakure is just north of the Land of Fire. It is relatively small and is also a neighbor of the Land of Hot Water. There is also a border line that touches part of the sea. Otagakure. This day is so boring. When Orochimaru was here, it was scary, but when he was gone, it was boring. There have been quite a few experimental subjects sent here recently. I guess Lord Orochimaru is going to make some big moves. Maybe. Two Oto ninjas were chatting at the entrance of the village. Suddenly, they saw a man walking over from the other side of the road. Soon, the two Oto ninjas saw clearly that the man was a young boy with a young face. Hey, kid, get out of here. Little boy, this is not a place you can come to. The two ninjas put down their guard, looked at the boy in front of them with an air of seniority, and began to scold him. Of course, they were also jealous of the handsome boy in front of them. His face was simply proving that they had grown crooked in the past 20 years. Hello, is Uncle Snake here? Tianli asked. Uncle Snake? Who is he? I don't know him. Humph, are you here to look for someone? Uncle Snake is Orochimaru, right? Tian. Li looked like a newbie. Lord Orochimaru. The two ninjas froze for a moment. One of them trembled and said, You are Lord Orochimaru's nephew. Tianli hesitated and said, Not a nephew, but a nephew of the same generation. Tsunade is his master, and Orochimaru is Tsunade's friend. Although they betrayed Konoha, they are still friends. They have met many times without killing each other. In the last 4 wars, Orochimaru even saved Tsunade. The bond between the Hokage is quite interesting. Therefore, Tenryu said that he is Orochimaru's nephew, which is actually correct. Seeing Hyuga Tenryu say this, the two sound ninjas are also a little. Lord Orochimaru is not in the village now. Uncle Snake is not here? Tianli was worried. Can I go in and wait for him? Anyway, I won't make trouble. No. They. Sound Ninja refused directly. At this time, a hypocritical laugh interrupted. This person wants to come in? Then let him in, but before coming in, he must be locked in the room and not run around. Tianli, a man walked over from a distance with a smile on his face. Lord Sakon. The two gatekeepers' teeth were trembling, and they were obviously very afraid of the person in front of them. One of the Otonins suppressed his fear and said, Lord Sakon, this is the nephew of Lord Orochimaru. So. Nephew. Sakon snorted and laughed, have you verified his identity? Before his identity is verified, we must lock him up for safety reasons. Sakon thought to himself, the curse seal is being developed now, and we are short of experimental subjects anyway. It's bad luck for him to come. The two gatekeepers looked at Tianli apologetically, took out chains and were about to lock Tianli up and detain him. Tianli shook his head and sighed, I just wanted to be more peaceful, but now you are forcing me to use some means. Zojin was stunned for a moment, then laughed. You mean, you want to force it? Tianli nodded. I do think so. Zojin laughed sarcastically. What an idiot, you may not know how strong I will be in front of you. You must have met many weaklings in the past, so you are so arrogant and confident. Tianli shook his head calmly. You are a weakling in front of me. I'm a weakling. Sakon's eyes narrowed and he grinned sinisterly. It seems that you want to die. As his voice fell, another identical person began to emerge on his body, with an extra head, 2 hands, and 2 feet. Sakon laughed. Little ghost, are you scared? This is my brother? Usually he just sleeps in my body, but when he comes out, he is very scary. Tianli, hey, one is a weakling, and both are still weaklings. Sakon's face darkened instantly. It seems that I have to let you see my ability. Although this will damage your body, it is enough for you to be a test subject. More punches. Zojin shouted and rushed towards Tianli. Tisk. Tianli spat disdainfully and said calmly, empty shield. A chakra wall appeared directly between the two of them. Humph, it's useless. My brother and I have extraordinary strength. Sakan laughed. Drink. Look, I'll smash you. Sakan and his brother punched the chakra shield at the same time. Boom. Countless smoke and dust flew up. The chakra shield didn't move at all. How is it possible? My strength didn't even break it. Sakujin exclaimed loudly. Tianli looked down on him. Everyone says you are a weakling. You can't even break 10% of my thickness. Xiuajin roared, damn it. I don't believe it. Tianli frowned, too much nonsense. With a wave of his hand, a huge force appeared out of nowhere, blasting Zhou Jin away and crashing into the rock mountain. Boom! The hard rock mountain was directly sunken into a large pit nearly 3 meters deep. How can you be so strong? Zhou Jin coughed up blood and looked at the boy in front of him in shock.